This is Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over, gambleaware.org, and Kickoff is fast approaching for our Europa League commentary game tonight as Nottingham Forest host FC Midtjylland in the Europa League round of 16 first leg. Now don't forget the sports bar will be open for your calls following all of tonight's action, so 03717 223344, that's the number to call them on to have your say. While Talksport Breakfast, of course, is back for you from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, live from the Cheltenham Festival on what is Gold Cup Day, including a full preview on all of the day's racing and a big weekend to come in the Premier League. But let's return to our commentary game with the team starting to line up in the tunnel. I have to say, they've been cranking up the music here because they want that atmosphere to get going. We saw some lovely pictures of the mascots dancing away to Gala's Free From Desire, which of course we hear everywhere these days. But let's build up to this game, as I say, with our commentary team, which is Sam Matterface and Charlie Adam. Charlie, in terms of this game and in terms of importance, how big is this one for Nottingham Forest? Bear in mind they've got Fulham to come on Sunday as well.
Well, no, I think this is a big one because of the...
It's possible to juggle both.
Yeah, I do think so, because obviously they've never played since Man City last Wednesday, so they've had enough time to prepare for that. And again, like you say, the team might be different for Sunday, what it is tonight, but this is the next game. This is the most important. It's the next one. You have to win this because, like anything, this club demands success in Europe. It's been in Europe. It's won European Cups, and you got a taste for it. You can't just give it up, and these supporters won't just give it up. So they'll still expect the players to go out there and win in the Europa League, but also try and win Sunday as well.
They've got that game on Sunday. Of course, they've got the second leg next Thursday too. But how hard is it to forget possibly that Tottenham game that's to come on this a week on Sunday?
No, they won't even be looking at that yet. They won't even be looking at...
in your mind as a player?
No, absolutely not. You just... Honestly, once you get in this game, you just think about the next game, and this is the most important thing for these next players. They will not be thinking about Tottenham on a week on Sunday. They'll just be thinking about the next game, and that's right now. And then Sunday will take care of itself after tonight. But this is the focus, and this is what it is. Is that Tottenham game going to define the season? No, because it won't relegate them and it won't keep them up. There'll be plenty. There's enough games off the back of that to stay up. So no, I just think they focus on tonight, and then once this is done, they'll look to Sunday's match.
It's going to be a huge week, that is for sure, for Nottingham Forest when you consider this game, the Fulham one, followed by the return leg, and then that Tottenham game as well. It is the Danish side, FC Midtjylland, then, that are the visitors here to the City Ground. One of the surprise packages in the Europa League this season as they finish third in the league phase. And they certainly know how to win here at the City Ground because they did that back in October as well. You are listening in to the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent a Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Don't forget, we will bring you updates on Palace versus Larnaca in the Conference League round of 16 first leg tonight. That'll come from Ian Abrahams. This game, though, is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Let's join your match commentators as we hope for another memorable night on the banks of the Trent. It's the former Liverpool midfielder Charlie Adam who is alongside your match commentator Sam Matterface.
Thanks, Nat. Good evening, everyone, from the banks of the River Trent, where the wind has been unrelenting and the rain has been teeming down. Well, I'll tell you what, if you think Arsenal like set pieces, dead balls and long throws and restarts, then wait till you meet this mob. If you cherish the variety that football can bring and celebrate its return to a more basic era, then tonight's opponents for Nottingham Forest, FC Midtjylland of Denmark, are right up your corridor of uncertainty. If you lament it, then brace yourself for torpedo throws, aerial bombardments, and an evening of set play maximisation like you have never seen before. FC Midtjylland finished third in the league phase of the Europa League table, and they did it by scoring 50% of their goals from set pieces. And everyone gives Arsenal stick. They've scored 103 goals this season, and barely 30% of theirs are from dead balls. Nottingham Forest have not been well equipped to deal with much recently. 1 win in 8, fighting to avoid relegation and trying to mount an assault on the European front. With a fourth head coach of the season, there's been as much disruption in the dugout as there probably will be in the 6-yard box tonight. The fans have been disenchanted. so much so the clubs have had to slash ticket prices twice to convince the fans to pack the place out, especially for a date with a team that have already beaten them. As is traditional before every game at this brilliant, iconic ground, the Mull of Kintyre rings around the city ground. The Midtjylland players go over to salute their supporters that have made the journey from Denmark, and the Nottingham Forest players who have been turned round in this first half and will attack the Trent end in the first half, move into the half away to our right, wearing Garibaldi red, white shorts and red socks, and FC Midtjylland of Denmark in white shirts and black shorts, white socks, attacking the Bridgeford end away to our right-hand side. Our referee is from Slovenia, Radi Obrenovic. The VAR is Matej Jug. And over on Talksport 2 right now, we've got live commentary of Crystal Palace against AK Larnaca. Earlier we heard Aston Villa beat Lille narrowly in France, courtesy of an Ollie Watkins goal. But our attention turns to the first knockout tie that Nottingham Forest have played since the 1994-95 season, when they met Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals of the forerunner to this competition. Forest have got a fight on their hands to stay in the Premier League, and despite coming from behind to draw with Manchester City recently, their record of 1 win in 8 needs to improve. And as a former set-piece coach, former Scotland international Charlie Adam is the perfect person to analyse what happens tonight. It's not a new thing. FC Midtjylland have been doing this for years, but how will Forest have prepared for it?
Yeah, well, a lot of data and a lot of information will go into it, but yeah, I've got my notepad here ready to nick a few things off FC Midtjylland tonight for when I get back into coaching, but no, I think it's there, and again, people have been criticising Arsenal over the last few weeks. For me, I think it's brilliant. I think it's great to see them trying different things and finding ways of winning football matches.
Picked up by Hutchinson in the centre circle. He had space to run into. That gap was quickly closed off for him by Martin Ehrlich. It does look like it's a back three tonight for Midtjylland, as we may be expected, with Mbabu playing as the right wing back. He's marking Hudson-Odoi, just got above him and nudged the ball out towards the near side. The ball's collected by Morgan Gibbs-White, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in. They've got Matt Sells in goal, Aina, Cunha, Maria, Morata the back four, Anderson, Dominguez and Gibbs-White in midfield, Hutchinson and Hudson-Odoi supporting Igor Jesus in attack. And it's interesting to see Hutchinson playing a little bit narrower, with Olarena, the right back, encouraged to get up and try and support the attack in the early exchanges. There's a foul there by Ousmane Diaw on Morgan Gibbs-White. It's going to be a free kick on the halfway line to Nottingham Forest. 0-0.
Yeah, it's really important tonight that, because Midtjylland are going to go man for man. They're three centre-backs are going man for man with Jesus, Hutchinson and Gibbs-White. It's important that Hudson-Odoi and even Aina on the opposite side are making that run from out to in, across that sort of full-back position to then get the space, because the space is in behind, and yeah, they're going to be aggressive, Midtjylland.
Well, that was another aggressive challenge by Diaw, and the ball has been shot up towards Bermuda. There was a challenge by Dominguez, and that challenge managed to bring down Aral Shimshir, and it's going to be a free kick just in front of the centre circle, dead centre of the Nottingham Forest half, and Midtjylland have possession of the football. Morgan Gibbs-White, who was just connected with that challenge down in front of us, away to our left-hand side, with that heavy blow from Ousmane Diaw, just hobbling back into position inside his own half now.
Yeah, there wasn't much protest really from any of the Nottingham Forest players, but opportunity now for Midtjylland to try and work something.
They've taken a short free kick, and then it's sent in towards the edge of the penalty area, away by Morata. It's a little bit of a waste really for a team that have scored 9 of their 18 Europa League goals from set pieces this season, which is 50%, more than any other side, as you would imagine. Ball's gone all the way back to the goalkeeper Olafsson. He sends it long. That was misjudged by Morato. It's collected on the right-hand side by Philip Belling, who gets across in towards the centre of the area, and it's cleared off the line. And their header came in brilliantly from Bramado, and it was pushed away by the Nottingham Forest defender on the goal line. I think it was Murillo got back there and helped out as the ball goes back into the centre. And it's away and out for the offside flag to go up, and a free kick just on the edge of the penalty area for Nottingham Forest. But that was a great opportunity from Junior Brumado. 16 goals this season to add to that tally.
Yeah, it's a brilliant play for Philip Billing. Just dinks it up, and Brumado just doesn't really get good. Ian actually gets good contact just to give him a little nudge, just as he's about to head it, and he just puts it there. But Murillo cleared it off the line. It was good play from Midtjylland.
This is the first of the last 16 games in the Europa League that Nottingham Forest contesting today at home. The second one next week away from home in Denmark. And we're bringing you this game in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. It's the first season back in Europe for 30 years for Nottingham Forest. They don't want it to end now. And there's another strong challenge, this time from Mbabu on Callum Hudson-Odoi. And Mbabu just being spoken to by our Slovenian referee, and you mentioned that they'll be physical and they'll be going man for man all over the park. That was another physical challenge.
Yeah, he actually didn't see him coming from his blind side, Mbabu, and Hudson-Odoi does well to sort of get that foul, and now an opportunity with the quality of Ellie Anderson to see, put it into an area where they want to go and hurt. They've got big lads, Nottingham Forest, Murillo, Morato, opportunity for them to go and edit. Cunha's got good size in him to go and attack this ball.
Well, Forest lost 2-1 to Fenerbahce in their last European home game, their second home defeat in the competition this season, following that earlier loss to FC Midtjylland. It's the first time they've lost twice at home in a single European campaign. They want to put it right tonight, and Anderson has the chance to take a short free kick. He does that down the left side of the box towards Callum Hudson-Odoi, whose cross takes a deflection, goes into the air. Igor Jesus makes a nuisance of himself. It drops on the edge of the area and then comes back to him, and then finds its way to Amari Hutchison. It's tucked back towards the left-hand side, and Anderson, who skates down the side of the box and then sends it wide towards the left. Hudson-Odoi takes over once more. On his right foot, cuts in. This is Nico Dominguez, dead centre. And then on to Murillo, who likes a shot from distance. He travels forward with the ball and runs into traffic. The ball bounces clear, but then fortuitously comes back to Callum Hudson-Odoi down the left, who takes on the defender, gets to the edge of the area, finds Anderson. Anderson with no real options in the box, leaves it for Gibbs White. He clips it over the top looking for Anderson. It's a bit delicate, and it's half cleared by Midtjylland, and then Mbabu by the corner flag tries to get away from Callum Hudson-Odoi. Again, not the best of clearances, and Forest keep the pressure on. 0-0 the score on Talksport at the City Ground in the Europa League last 16 first leg. The ball picked up by Morata, who's seen it on towards Anderson. Lovely through the legs of the defender. Beautiful skill from Anderson, and then the ball back towards Hutchinson was a poor one, and that's encouraged Brumado to skate over the halfway line and travel into Nottingham Forest territory. But Anderson with a lovely little pop through the legs of the defender, who won't be too pleased to have seen that. There's a problem here for Nottingham Forest again, and this looks like a bit of an issue actually for Jair Cunha, who's only been added to the Europa League squad recently because of Willy Bolly's injury.
Yeah, he just went down on the turf and went past him. He looks not in a good place at the moment, Cunha, and he just sort of rolls his ankle.
Well, he had no one near him when he went over, did he?
No, that's not good, but lovely skill from Anderson. He just brings Bravo into it. Actually, Bravo and Anderson's technique, skills, just nicks it through his legs and gives him an opportunity. But yeah, sub getting made already for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a change here, and Jair Cunha's evening is going to be over very, very quickly. I wonder if they're going to bring on Milenkovic here. I think they would have liked to have rested him for tonight's game, but he's going to come on, Nikola Milenkovic. Like-for-like change, but very early in the game, and not a substitution that Vitor Pereira would have wanted to make at this stage, Charlie.
No, again, it's when the opportunity coming, just getting added to the squad, and young lad get an opportunity to come in tonight, but yeah, he just looking to on his foot. I don't know if it maybe on the sole of his foot. It looks like he's pointing to the sole of his foot. So yeah, it wasn't great. He went down straight away, so looks in a lot of pain.
No problem for him. He was part of the Botafogo Club World Cup squad. He was bought for 10 million quid in the summer. He wasn't very active in the first half of the season, but he's just got into the team the last couple of games, and he'll be disappointed. He's had to go all the way straight down the touchline here. This is Talksport. We're live at the City Ground, and already a substitution for Nottingham Forest. In fact, Milenkovic hasn't come on yet. Cunha has gone off, and that means currently Midtjylland have an extra man. They bring the ball forward and out of the defence. It's taken by Ehrlich and then sent to the left, and Madsbæk Sorensen, once of Brentford. Across the back three it goes to Giao. Giao starts to move down the inside right, inside opposition territory, and Mike Tulberg getting absolutely furious on the near touchline about the slowness of the approach from his team as they try to break down the left-hand side, and Victor Bak-Jensen trying to get into the box. He had a little twirl to get away first from Amari Hutchinson and then from Aina, but Aina reacts well and gets the ball out on the far side via Dominguez, but then it goes back towards Jensen and it goes out of play because it was a little bit heavy and he was coming from an offside position. So here is confirmation of that change. Milenkovic on for Jair Cunha.
Yeah, it was an opportunity there for Tulberg, the coach, is telling the centre-back stepping in to actually try and play the ball quick in there, because the space was in between the midfield of Nottingham Forest. But yeah, the coach getting frustrated quite early, and that's something that they'll be looking for, because they've got that overload at the back end. They're trying to build in that 3 and 2 and then 5 at the top end, so looking to try and get the ball as forward as quickly. That's what the coach is looking for.
Well, arguably it's the biggest game in the club's history for FC Midtjylland. They're in the round of 16 in a major European competition for the first time ever. The 40-year-old Dane Tulberg was coaching Borussia Dortmund's under-19s and reserves before getting this job in September. So he wants to make the most of it, just as Nottingham Forest do. Midtjylland want to make the most of it. A club that actually has been really progressive over the course of the last few years and started to move up the Danish ranks. They've won several Danish titles now and have become a permanent fixture on the European landscape. But being in the knockout stages, having an opportunity to try and get to a major quarter-final, that's an opportunity that neither of these two want to relinquish easily.
Yeah, and again, for me, I know a lot more about Midtjylland.
Oh, lovely touch by Jesus round the corner on the halfway line. Gibbs White races up towards the edge of the area, cuts in a reverse ball down to Hutchinson inside the box, looks for the reverse back into the path of Gibbs White, but Giao spotted that and clears it away, and it goes out on this near side and away for a throw-in.
Yeah, lovely flick, good play. I'm just not sure Gibbs White, Jesus there, just that pace to really get away from him, but he did brilliant just to delay it and then get that opportunity to slide to Hutchinson. But going back to Midtjylland, it's something that, yeah, of course they've done really well in terms of the set plays now, but the data work that they've got and the players that they're starting to produce, but not easy in the league that they're in terms of, Bromby and Aris now top of the league. So yeah, it's going to be a tough season for them.
Ball kicked long by Sells up over the halfway line. And Milenkovic gets his first touch of the ball, and it comes kindly for Ola Aina, just right of the centre circle. He hits the first man with his delivery, but then pokes it forward. There was a late challenge there by Philip Billing, and that's going to be a free kick inside the centre circle for the home team, Nottingham Forest. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talksport live on this Thursday night under the lights at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest know it's not going to be easy tonight. Midtjylland have won 11 of the last 13 games in European competition, including the qualifiers. However, the 2 games that they failed to win have been the last 2 games on the road. They were defeated at Roma in the Olympic Stadium, and they drew with Norwegian side Brann. But they've had a history of winning here already this season. They were 2-0 down in that game and came back to win 3-2. It's different Nottingham Forest now. Handball given against Dominguez. I think that's a little bit officious from the referee.
Yeah, no, it was a good play from Forest, but again, referee blowing for that foul. But I'm just looking at what Nottingham Forest do, trying to bring Hutchinson inside a little bit to attract the fullback in. Hudson-Odoi holding his width there against Mbabu here on this left-hand side, and then looking to get Anderson Dominguez on the ball, because Gibbs White just floating in and around Jesus, who is a real quality player playing off that front.
This is not the only game that's taking place tonight. We'll check in with Ian Abrahams very shortly. Still 0-0 between Crystal Palace and AEK Larnaca. Now Fiorentina drawing as well.
It's an interesting move for Philip Billing, this, isn't it? Coming here and
after winning Serie A last year.
Yeah.
Here is Murillo just seeing it back to his goalkeeper.
So knowing on that journey of winning in Italy to come here, and then I thought he did really well when he was playing at Bournemouth. Good size. Look at him and I think a little bit Loftus-Cheek like.
Yeah.
The size and the presence, but it'd be an interesting move for him.
Well, 6 years at Bournemouth, and then he went to Napoli last year on loan and won Serie A, and then obviously, I mean, he is Danish. Maybe he just wanted to go back home.
Yeah, I get that, but again with his experiences of the Premier League and winning the title in Italy, does it give him an opportunity to maybe come back to the Premier League?
Maybe. Here's a great touch by Jesus to send it wide towards Hutchinson, who gets to the edge of the penalty area, pokes it on to Aina, back into Nico Dominguez, who looks for Anderson, who then feeds it into Hutchinson, but with too much pace it bobbles off the record signing and bounces out to the far side. Anderson does well to recover the ball and get it all the way back to the halfway line, and now it's with Murillo just short of the halfway line. It's Nottingham Forest 0, FC Midtjylland 0 on Talksport in the Europa League. Here is Murillo, who cleared off the line from Gramada early in the game. He's given the ball away cheaply to back Jensen. The ball's worked wide towards the left-hand side, and they've given it away again. An opportunity to try and attack for Nottingham Forest didn't quite come off, and the ball goes all the way back out towards this near side now, and it's with Mbabu, formerly of Newcastle United. He once scored a terrific goal down at Bournemouth, Mbabu. Let's go off to Selhurst Park and speak to Talksport's Ian Abrahams. What's the opening stages been like for Crystal Palace?
Quarter of an hour gone. Palace 0, Larnaca 0. Palace with 3 good chances. Gets on from 6 yards out. Keeper made a good save. Not such a good shot from Strand Larson inside the box. Straight at the keeper. And Sars just fired one over the top. All Palace here. Palace 0, Larnaca 0.
You're listening to Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0 on Talk Sport. With Enterprise, rent a car, whatever it is, they're here for it. And Morgan Gibbs-White just threatening to escape behind the defence, didn't quite come off, and it's cleared away. And I do think it'd be interesting to see how they get in behind that back line tonight.
Well, because they're man for man, Midtjylland, and then that's where the space is. So again, you'll see a lot of Gibbs-White coming short, Jesus coming short. That then will allow the space of Hutchinson to run in behind, Hudson-Odoi to use his pace, but Aina actually coming really high to force that back line of Midtjylland into a 5, and loads of rotations really to open the spaces up for forward runs.
Ball's out wide on the left with Victor back Jensen tussling with Igor Jesus. The free kick goes against the Dane, and it's going to be a free kick to Nottingham Forest, who want to get things moving quickly, want possession and tempo to be raised here. 16 minutes gone, goalless. Shabana Hearn is on the breakfast show tomorrow morning. Gabriel Bonlahor tells me that he's going to do the breakfast show tomorrow instead of doing our show, which I think is a bit treacherous really, but out of order. But apparently he's doing that tomorrow morning with Ray Parlour, and that's from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning on Talksport Live from Cheltenham.
Breakfast show must be paying more.
Outrageous. He's still on trial, I've told him that. Here's Anderson towards the right. Dean Ashton is going to join Crookie and I tomorrow from 10 o'clock.
Good replacement.
Absolutely. Proper striker,
yeah,
Dean.
Yeah. Be getting the goals on the table, they too.
Here is Murillo in the centre circle onto Anderson, out towards the right hand side, slipped down the side of the penalty area by Dominguez, looking for the run of Mari Hutchison, but it was cut out well by the Midtjylland midfield. And now Billings sweeps the ball forward, tries to play it down on the inside right channel. He was looking there for the run of Daniel Castillo. It was headed away by Morato, and Nottingham Forest regained possession inside their own half. How have you assessed the first 17 minutes?
Yeah, well, I think it's been a bit of a, you have it and we have it. I think Forest have shown that they have got quality in the wide areas, especially when it gets to Hudson-Odoi. But it looks like now Forest have gone to a back 3 and pushed Aina high, and now Hudson-Odoi's playing as the left wing back. They've got 3 centre-backs on the pitch. Lovely pass.
That is a good pass, and Babu's read it well, stopped it from going through to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who then nodded it down. There was a mishap by the defender, and Morgan Gibbs-White nabbed him very quickly. Nottingham Forest have possession. Here is Dominguez forward towards the right. A little skill from Hutchinson to try and take him past the defender Bravo. In towards the near post it goes with the cross, away by Billing, who was filling in front of the defence. Anderson rises up and heads the ball forward. Billing manages to get it away, and he now chases up over the halfway line and gallops into Forest territory. He's got options in the centre. Castillo is one of those. Brumada has just dropped outside the box, and he's got hold of it now, being chased by Dominguez. They're about 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area here, Midtjylland, and Mbabu is queuing up to send the ball into the box. He's overhit that cross. Don't think he got the kind of direction he was hoping for, and it lands on the roof of the net and goes out for a Nottingham Forest goal kick. 0-0, 19 minutes played.
Yeah, again, like I said before, Forest actually gone changing that back three of Morato, Murillo and Milinkovic, and then a bit of a box in midfield of, you know, Anderson and Dominguez, and then forward is Hutchinson and Gibbs-White. So again, it's trying to overload that midfield. Again, that rotations, people coming short, and then the runners in behind. Foul from Gibbs-White.
Yeah, there's a bit of a tussle going on between him and Diao, Ousmane Diao. There was a couple of strong challenges that Diao perpetrated on him earlier in the game, and then there's a bit of a wrestling match going on there, which has gone against Gibbs-White, and Midtjylland have the ball. 19 gone. And we get to have any real goalmouth action, apart from that header from Brumada, which was tame and cleared off the line rather easily by Murillo in the first few minutes of the match. Earlier on, Aston Villa beat Lille away from home by a goal to nil. A little bit of hesitancy in the Forest defence, and that encouraged Castillo to bust a gut to try and chase after it, but Matzell's starting position was good, and he came out to the edge of his area and kicked clear and out and away for a throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, just going back to that shape. Oh,
here's Omari Hutchinson picking it up in the 10, and Gibbs-White peels away, but Hutchinson goes for goal, and it's a brilliant stop towards the left-hand side by Olafsson, who sprung up beautifully and tipped it round the post.
Yeah, it's brilliant play from Omari Hutchinson, cutting inside, and a lovely strike, and then Olafsson diving to his left, tips it over the bar, but showing the threat of Gibbs-White and Hutchinson playing inside the pitch. You know, Omari Hutchinson picking in the pocket and then driving with the ball. Lovely play from him.
It took me by surprise. I jumped out of my seat so much I smashed my knee on the desk. Right on the kneecap.
It's a sore one there.
Oh, it is. Where's the physio? Might be an early change here. Here's the corner over on the far side, taken by Anderson in towards the near post. It's headed into the air by Gibbs-White. I think he got the final touch, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left. But that was a great shot and a great effort from Omari Hutchinson. He cost £37.5 million from Ipswich Town in the summer. That was a record. It took him a long time to get into the team, really, didn't it? Under, well, the three other managers that they've had here.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. Again, it's difficult. He played in a team that obviously got relegated. He was probably the best player within that group, and I thought it was a good piece of business from Ipswich in terms of the fee that they got, and had a good European Championship as well. So it's got to wait your time. Sometimes you just got to sit and be patient, and he's done that and shown the quality there tonight so far.
Yeah, he scored the winning goal in the European Under-21s, didn't he, for England against Germany in the final. Here is Jiao with a clearance. It goes back to Madsbek Sorensen, who clips it into the chest of Brumada on halfway. He's wrestling with Murillo. It's Nottingham Forest to come away with the ball, but the referee said there was too much contact from Murillo, and the free kick is given in favour of the away team.
Yeah, brilliant from Brumado there. You're 74, number 9 you would call it, but really holding on, because Murillo likes to be physical, and he did really well just to buy fouls. Again, as the away team coming to a place like this, you're looking to try and hold the ball up, buy fouls, get your team up the pitch, and it was a brilliant centre forward play from ways back to goal.
Crossfield ball from Midtjylland goes out towards the far side and then bounces off the turf and into the Brian Clough stand. That Brian Clough stand, which has got etched on its front all of the honours that were won during that period, and maybe before as well. The League Cup in 1978, 78 League title, the 78 Community Shield, the 79 League Cup, the European Cup in 79 as well, and the Super Cup, and then they retained the European Cup in 1980, which is remarkable, really, from where Brian Clough took them when they were a second division team when he took over them. And ended up winning the European Cup twice.
Amazing the stories you hear about, Clough and people like, obviously Nigel had an experience been in the game a long time, and got a brilliant tie against Arsenal last weekend, and brought a lot of big stories back, but had his own career as a manager, and rightly so, have been amazing. But what his dad's done for this football club's been unbelievable.
Well, they have a stand named for him over on the far side, and his assistant, his great assistant Peter Taylor, is the name of this stand actually that we're in here. As the ball runs loose on the edge of the area, it's poked forward by Castillo. There was a 50-50 challenge with Morato, and it goes out of play for a goal kick away to our right.
And have they named the stand after John Robertson, who's recently passed as well?
They have. I think the Bridgeford end away to our right is going to be the John Robertson stand. They're going to dedicate that in the summer. I think that's going to be officially sorted. I think already they've said that they're going to do it, and quite rightly so. What a great player he was, by the way.
Yeah, again, they had a lot of good stories about John Robertson. When he was at Celtic now under Martin O'Neill, brilliant characters that are in the game or were in the game, and they are sadly missed. And I think Martin now at his age still being competitive the way he was at the weekend.
Unbelievable, and it's great to see him back in the game. And when he's finished with his little sabbatical from the radio, we'll make sure he comes back.
Oh, he'll be back on that White and Jordan show. I heard them giving Simon Jordan a bit of stick the other day, which was quite fun. But he's an unbelievable character, Martin O'Neill.
Absolutely. Anderson is down after a foul. The FC Midtjylland boss Schulberg has got a little bit riotous down in front of us, and he's given a bit of stick to Vitor Pereira and his coaches Felipe Almeida and Luis Miguel. A little bit of noise coming from either side there.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy. I think the coach Tilburg's not too happy about moaning about fouls all the time. But he's dressed like he's one of the ultras, and the manager.
He is, isn't he? He's got a black hoodie on with FC Midtjylland emblazoned on the back. He's got a pair of white trainers, a pair of black tracky bottoms on. He's got a shaved head. He looks like he's been plucked out of the ultras and stuck in the dugout.
He's not normally shaved head.
He's got a warning there from the referee.
Yeah, I think him and Pereira were actually having a go, and his assistant coach is putting the hands up saying apologising for the manager. But I think sometimes a little bit of passion on the side's good. Again, you'll be saying we're not here just to make the numbers up, we're here to be competitive. And the first sort of 25 minutes they've been competitive in this game, and they've sort of left a few fouls on the Nottingham Forest players so far.
They have. Chance apiece so far. Long range effort from Omari Hutchinson and a header from Bramada, the closest we've come to breaking the deadlock. It's still goalless on Talksport, and we're live here at the City Ground. The Midtjylland Ultras, as Natalie was saying, 200 of them round about, still in fine voice over on the far side. That's a little bit hesitant for Morato. It's being shut down by Castillo as they try to play out from the back Nottingham Forest. It does deflect and goes behind for a goal kick away to our right hand side.
Yeah, he put his cell under pressure. He was too close. The press was coming straight from Castillo there, and he actually should have just dropped deeper, but the goalkeeper cells dropped, sort of left him a horrible pass, and actually got away with it.
27 on the clock. Ball cleared by Murillo. That's a big thumping clearance upfield. He can do that, can't he, Murillo? He's got such power when he kicks the ball forward. Here is Dominguez sending it wide. Now Omari Hutchinson midway inside Midtjylland territory, a couple of yards in from the right touchline. Looks to take on Sorensen, but he pokes the ball into the path of Aina, but it was a bit heavy, and as a result that gave the option for Jensen to come across and clear for the away team FC Midtjylland. Back it goes all the way to Morato, and then into Murillo again. Another long ball over the top of the defence. Billing is chasing back, and he's got Anderson for company. He gets it back to his goalkeeper Olafsson, who's made a good save from Hutchinson earlier in the game. He sends it long. Morato puts his hand up, but he allows Bramado to go through the middle. He does just enough to recover. Now the flag goes up, but you can't do that in a VAR era. You've got to play until the whistle.
Yeah, never put your hand up. Always play, like you say, Sam, play to the whistle. Even though you think he's offside, deal with the situation. He allows it to happen, and like you say, could have caused problems. But that's the second time now he's sort of been done on that left-hand side. He got done earlier with Philip Billing as well.
Milenkovic comes forward to the edge of the area, plays it into Aina and gets it back. The centre-back and the right-back combining up the pitch from a long goal kick. It comes into Gibbs-White inside the area, going down the right-hand side, looking to get to the byline. That definitely came off the Midtjylland player last. How on earth has the referee not given a corner kick for that?
Yeah, it was a good play from the goalkeeper, straight up to Milenkovic. Aina combining well, but yeah, like you said, I thought I was going out for a corner.
Well, I don't often see a centre-back and a right-back end up charging up the pitch to get on the end of it.
That was like Sheffield United of old, wasn't it?
The overlapping centre-backs.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And Giao's got a bit of an issue here. He's holding his face. They're wasting a bit of time, or being accused of doing so, by the Nottingham Forest fans in the Trent end away to our left-hand side. Olafsson takes the ball short and then clips it over the on-rushing Jesus. A mistake by Giao.
That's the second time now the last 2 goal kicks have actually kicked out the pitch. That was a mistake from Giao, and the goalkeeper kicked straight out the pitch the last one. So that pressure from Nottingham Forest, they're putting them under, making them make mistakes now.
Jesus gets it back to Anderson. Anderson, who's just 10 yards over the halfway line, guides it back into Murillo. Murillo forward now onto Amari Hutchinson, who's trying to turn under pressure. He comes across, doesn't get hold of the ball. It bounces into the path of Dominguez, and then it's played through the centre circle and out towards the near touchline, where it's collected by Morato, and then into Hutchinson, back to Murillo, short of the halfway line. Nottingham Forest trying to weave their way up the pitch here. They're just right of centre with Amari Hutchinson, Dominguez, and then Ola Aina, who's played the last 10 Premier League games. What a timely return to action it is that he's back in the Nottingham Forest ranks. Nodded forward by Dominguez. Won, though, by Madsbæk Sorensen on the far side, and he helps it up into the path of the figure of Bramado, who finds Castillo, then Mbala, and then back to Castillo. Couldn't get it under control, and that was fortunate for Nottingham Forest because Morato came across and managed to clear. But he had a little bit too much room there, Castillo. That's a mistake by Giao, and Hutchinson is preparing to escape. He goes down the left-hand side. It bounces infield for him. He runs up to the edge of the area. He's being pursued by Billing. He gets the low crossing towards the near post, and the reaction by Ehrlich is to put it behind and away for a Nottingham Forest corner, 0-0.
Yeah, it's actually poor defending from Giao and Billing. They allow Mari Hutchinson to get by him, and again, from Hutchinson's point of view, he's wiry and he stays on the ball, and he manages to get half a yard and deliver a ball into that front post area, and the defender does well to clear it because Jesus was just tapping that in the net there.
Well, Ehrlich has scored 3 Europa League goals this season from centre-back at the other end, and it's 3 goals in 6 starts. He's the Croatian international defender, but he's had to work hard there, and he's given away this corner for Nottingham Forest, who are just lining up on the penalty spot to cause a bit of disruption. It's the old England train as the ball goes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Ehrlich and out towards the halfway line. Good, strong, firm contact on that from Midtjylland. Forward by Hudson-Odoi. Nottingham Forest in possession. Wide on the left as they look at it. Infield it goes to Amari Hutchinson with his dyed blonde hair. Back to the captain, Morgan Gibbs-White, who twirls, plays it wide towards Hudson-Odoi, and then back infield it goes. And now Hutchinson turns and scurries forward, held up by Mbabu. Goes back wide. Gibbs-White quickly on to Anderson. Anderson's down the left side of the box now. He's got Diao for company. He gets the cross into the centre, and leaning towards the ball was Morato, and he was so close to connecting with that. And if he'd made any contact whatsoever, the fierceness of the ball into the box, it wouldn't have had to do anything apart from touch it, and it would have flown in the net.
Yeah, it's that guy Anderson again. He's coming on this left-hand side, looking to turn on his left, goes down the outside, and it's a lovely ball with his left foot. But, you know, Anderson, he's a clever footballer. He looks to try and go into areas where the space is there for him. He doesn't just sit in that middle of the pitch. He'll come and try and play off the back of midfielders. He'll try and come short. He'll go and play high if he has to. Yeah, really clever player on how he sees the game.
Big games coming up over the weekend. Oh, that's a mistake by the defender Ehrlich, and it's been picked off by Igor Jesus. Poor pass forward to Gibbs-White, but he's got it back again, edge of the area. Right foot, his shot's going to go wide. What a waste. He had such a great opportunity to just push that into the path of Morgan Gibbs-White after a mistake by Ehrlich. They turned the ball over, and instead of getting the pass right and then almost sending him through on goal, he played it too close to Giao, just stabbed it clear, and Midtjylland survived. We've got Wrexham Swansea tomorrow night, Friday the 13th. Oh, strange things could happen. Talksport 2 for that. Tomorrow, Saturday, And we've got Middlesbrough against Bristol City on Talksport 2. We've got Game Day Live at 1 o'clock on Saturday because there's no early game this week. And Manchester City go to West Ham at 8 o'clock live on Talksport. Before that, West Brom Hull is on Talksport 2. Sunday, Game Day Live. We've got Mickey Gray, Perry Groves and Keris Harrop joining us for Game Day Live on Talksport from 1:30. The Women's League Cup final is taking place on Sunday down at Ashton Gate. Angelina Kelly will be reporting for us on that one, and of course we've got Nottingham Forest in action at the weekend, which we'll keep you in touch with as well. Monday night football comes from the GTEC Community Stadium as Brentford take on Wolves, and Portsmouth Derby is on at the same time on Talksport 2. Looking forward to what is a busy weekend of action live on Talksport. Now, this is the first chance that we've really had of a FC Midtjylland set piece, and it's going to be taken on this near touchline, away to our right-hand side by Arel Shimshir. Also standing over it is Victor Back Jensen. There's 4 waiting in the centre. Ehrlich is in there. It's in by Shimshir towards the 6-yard box. He did cause chaos because he dipped and bounced just in front of the goalkeeper, and it went out eventually over on the far side. But it was into that corridor of uncertainty where no one wanted to touch it and no Midtjylland player could get on the end of it.
Nah, it's an incredible ball. It's actually bounced about 5 yards out. It's a lovely ball, and it's a perfect one. If that's a Midland, you're away from home, the delivery, the coach has gone mad on the touchline because he knew it was in the right area, just couldn't get anybody free to go and attack it.
And Morato has picked up a yellow card for giving away that free kick as well.
Let's go back to that. That's the last 3 balls on this side for Morato. He's not dealt with, and then he ends up fouling Castillo there and puts himself under pressure now.
That's the last thing that he will want. And they've already made a change in the back line because of the injury to Jai Cunha.
Yeah, and it is tough when you're playing. It's different on the opposite side for Milenkovic. He's got a full-back playing beside him, where Morata's now still got his winger of Hudson-Odoi. So again, at times Hudson-Odoi might switch off, and he then has to deal with it, then coming in at full-back. So he might be isolated 1v1. If I was the coach of Midtjylland, I'd be saying, get the ball as much as we can down the side of Morata, let him make fouls, make him into the, trying to get his that second yellow card.
Well, Mads Bech Sorensen has a spectacular long throw, but instead of using it on that occasion, he went short, they recycled it and gave it away straight to the Nottingham Forest. It's then hit the hand of Morgan Gibbs-White. This referee's very officious, isn't he?
Yeah.
The Slovenian.
It's it just bounced up and give Morgan Gibbs-White in the hand there, but like you say, I think sometimes you've got the opportunity to put it in the box and you throw it backwards. That's, for me, when you've got a long throw, if you're Nottingham Forest, you're delighted with that.
They're not quite Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds United, are they? But they do press high and they do go man for man all over the park. And they have given the ball away again cheaply here, and Aina has found Hutchinson, who's escaped through the centre circle, out towards the left. Now it's Morgan Gibbs-White, who cuts in on his right foot. He needs a little bit more support. There were not enough red shirts coming back, but Aina is one of those. He shoots, it comes back to Jesus. He couldn't sort his feet out quick enough. He took a heavy touch, went wide and pushed the ball behind and out for a goal kick. Big opportunity for Nottingham Forest. Spilt from the effort by Aina by Olafsson into the path of Jesus. I think it took a little nick on the way through, which is why the goalkeeper was a little bit confused. He got up well, but Jesus really could have done better.
Yeah, it comes off the left shoulder of Ehrlich, and the good save from the goalkeeper. Parries it in there, and Jesus actually takes a difficult first touch. I think he might have thought that the defender was going to try and dive in and nick it off his toe, but it was a poor touch, and the goalkeeper did well to get back up and deny him again.
Olafsson taking a bit of time over the goal kick. He sends it long. The Forest fans didn't like that. Well won by Anderson, and then Ehrlich tries to get it back to his goalkeeper and successfully does that ahead of Igor Jesus. You're listening to Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0 in the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now, enterprise.co.uk.
Yeah, I think sometimes with this formation that Forest are playing with that sort of 5-2, 2-1, you end up in a 5-4-1. So it's important that for Midtjylland, the 2 outside centre backs can actually just step with the ball and then play and then look to try and commit in the forward areas. So yeah, interesting to see how Forest actually press it.
Here is Billing back to Mads Bech Sorensen. Slides it forward into Castillo, touches it round the corner. Good interception by Murillo, steals in front of his marker and charges forward. It's Murillo to the edge of the area. He sends it towards Hutchinson. Hutchinson shoots it towards the near post, and it takes a deflection off Mads Bech Sorensen and goes behind and away for a corner. But that was a brilliant run from Murillo. He stole in front of his man. He charged forward through the middle of the pitch with the ball. It was a swashbuckling run to the edge of the D. He released Hutchinson. Hutchinson was a little bit wide. The angle was against him, and the defender came across as he unleashed a shot and deflected it behind and away for a corner.
Yeah, brilliant from Murillo on the front foot again. It's just that end product, the centre-back stepping in. He thought he was going to see the bright lights, but he tried to slide to Hutchinson, but should have passed it in front of him. He passed it behind.
Here's the corner, aimed in towards the penalty spot, away by Castillo. Bounces down for Murillo, who allows it to go across his body, then turns it out towards the left. Hudson-Odoi now teases, gets to the edge of the area, comes in on that right foot, which is so dangerous for him to do. He elevates a decent cross looking towards Igor Jesus, kept alive at the back post by Anderson. He's on the edge of the 18-yard box, travelling down the right side of it now. And then there was a foul there given against Anderson. He can't quite believe it. What on earth is the assistant seen over on the far side?
Yeah, I think it looks like he's gave the foul for actually making contact with Castillo, but yeah, it's been trigger happy. Referee blowing his whistle. Yeah, I think he's gave it for that sort of left arm touching him in the face. It's not a foul, is it?
Grow up. There is absolutely nothing in that whatsoever. Anderson's got to be very careful, because if he gets a yellow card tonight, he'll miss the second leg. And to be honest, not that he was going to get a yellow card for that, but his reaction was such that he could have drawn a yellow card for dissent, because he was furious about it. I understand why he was furious, because the award of the free kick was nothing short of pathetic. Let's go off to Selhurst Park. How are Crystal Palace getting on against Larnaca? Talksport, Ian Abrahams.
To be honest, they're being frustrated. It's Palace 0, Larnaca 0. Gasselman's had another effort on target, which was turned away. Also, a cross by Johnson came back off the crossbar. It was a cross, not a shot. And they had countless corners, but it's all Palace. They can't score. The game's live on Talksport 2. Palace 0, Larnaca 0.
0-0 here on Talksport as Nottingham Forest come forward again, attacking the Midtjylland defence down the left-hand side. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi racing towards the byline. He turns back and fires it into Morgan Gibbs-White. Anderson takes over, tries a dipping shot. It's a brilliant one-handed save by Olafsson. Up high with his left hand. He dived to his right. His big left hand had to come out, because that was a firecracker from Anderson. I tell you what, if that was at the Motor Point Arena tonight, it would have been a bullseye.
Oh, it's a beauty of a strike from Anderson. Yes, he doesn't really get out his feet well enough, but he does brilliant to have it underneath his feet and to drive that nearly in the top corner. And Olafsson diving to his right-hand side, tipping it over the bar. Lovely strike from Anderson there.
God, boy, did he get hold of that, Elliot Anderson. 2 goals already this season. He could have had a third. And Olafsson actually has had to make a couple of saves now.
Yeah, a couple of good strikes.
Here is Hutchinson with a corner away to our left-hand side. Left-footed delivery towards the penalty spot. Igor Jesus is up there. He loops towards goal. It's cleared off the line by Ehrlich. Goalkeeper came and he got absolutely nowhere near that. And Jesus got up highest. It went over his head. The goalkeeper didn't know what postcode he was in. And luckily enough, Ehrlich was behind him to clear.
Yeah, it was never the goalkeeper's ball. It's an out-swinging ball. You got to go and let your defender deal with that. And he was in no man's land there. And Billing did brilliant on the back on the line, just being aware of that.
It's terrific defending. They needed someone to help him out, because he got completely lost there, didn't he?
Yeah, he was all over the place. Again, with that outswinger, his starting position was quite good, but there was just too many bodies from to get through to make any difference.
Oh, give over. Callum Hudson-Odoi has just been penalised for a foul on Kevin Mbabu. I'm sorry, again, absolutely nothing in it. This referee and these 2 assistants are so pernickety, it is unreal.
It's soft. It's again, there's a real frustration with these Nottingham Forest players, but they've got to try and keep control of their mindset, because if they keep doing that and opportunities, like you say, yellow cards, people missing second legs, but it was never a foul. And to be fair, I've seen Gibbs White having a go at the 4th official earlier, saying how many times have they fouled us and nothing's happened. So there is a little bit of frustration on both sides.
Just a little bit. And there's going to be another free kick for the away team. And Amal Shimshir standing over the delivery. So is Back Jensen as well. It's another one of those deliveries that can go into that 6-yard box and cause chaos like it did the last time. It's only about 10 yards short of the penalty area. It's Shimshir's delivery. Again, it's in towards that near post. It's away towards the edge of the area. Castillo picks it up and turns it back all the way into the centre circle, where it's sent forward by Pedro Bravo, but his ball wasn't right, and Hutchinson's threatening to escape. Bravo, did he commit a foul there? The referee says no. Well, just a minute ago you couldn't breathe on a player, but now all of a sudden Pedro Bravo's got away with a little tap on the ankles of Hutchinson.
Yeah, it's getting heated now between both benches. I thought it was a foul. It was good play from Hutchinson getting his body in there and Bravo making the foul, but yeah, now the supporters are now starting to sing that what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing.
Hutchinson trying to challenge. Ehrlich comes across and hoiks it clear. We've played 43 minutes. It's still 0-0 on Talksport. I think Nottingham Forest largely have had the better of the opportunities, marginally, but there have been some set-piece moments of worry for Nottingham Forest defence as a result of the excellent delivery into the area from dead ball situations, as you would expect from this team. Ball given away. Bramado has picked it up. They thought they had a foul there, Nottingham Forest, but Bramado is racing towards the edge of the area. He gets into the box now under pressure from Anderson. Again, there was a flailing arm. Crikey, is this referee just going to stop it every time someone touches someone? It is a contact sport, you know, fella.
Yeah, there's a lot of frustration out there from both sets of supporters, and actually to both benches. But again, it was really, really tough for the referee. He's giving everything at the moment.
Do you think it sort of disrupts the rhythm of the game?
Yeah,
though,
it does. There doesn't get a flow of it, and to be fair, for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes there was a flow to it. Then all of a sudden he started, every time there's anybody's gone near anybody there's been a foul. So the last little period here has been a real frustration.
A little bit over officious, I think. Here, flick on from Gibbs White into Igor Jesus. Slip to Hutchinson. He's a little bit wide here. He pulls it back into the area. Gibbs White is there! And he's missed the target. Might have taken a flick on the way through. Must have done, because it's gone out for a corner. But what an opportunity that was for Nottingham Forest. First ball won by Gibbs White. Flicked on to Jesus. He helped it down the left for Hutchinson. He's a little bit wide for him. He pulled it back beautifully to Gibbs White. And with the outside of his right boot, he just tried to nudge that ball goalwards. It took a flick off the defender. It was on target, and it went out and away for a corner kick.
Yeah, it was brilliant play. Actually, Gibbs White's the one that wins it in the air. Midtjylland are all over the place, that back three, and it drops back to the edge of the box, and it's actually the captain, Mads Beckett, it hits to go out for a corner.
Here is the corner then to be taken on the near side. We've got 2 minutes of added time.
Now we're moaning a bit. We've got to be inside this white line.
Well, he should know the laws, and the laws say that it only has to overhang the quadrant. He seems to know every single inch of the law, doesn't he, this referee? Crikey, now he's having a word at the far post with a... don't get too close to him. Here is Anderson, short free kick. Gets it back from Gibbs White. It was a poor touch. He goes back into the middle. Referee still warning players about pushing inside the area as the ball goes back wide to Anderson. Anderson now to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Bit of space here for Gibbs White to get a cross in, and he just gets underneath it. Too much air under the ball, not enough whip, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. Away to our left-hand side. Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0. Victor Pereira is furiously writing notes on a notepad down in front of us. And using pen and paper, an old spiral notepad, an old spiral reporter's book there. No iPad for him.
No, he'll just be preparing his notes for half time.
What will he be saying?
I think he'll be saying a little bit more of the same. I think we just have to be wary of the sort of long balls that we've not dealt with. Marato, and don't be giving away cheap free kicks because of that delivery that they've got, and put one right into an area where it could hurt us. But I think if I'm Pereira, I'd be happy enough in terms of what we've done, and within the game we've caused them enough problems. But we have to be aware that we have to keep that back door shut as well.
Sells clips the ball forward from just outside his penalty area. It's headed away by Billing and then taken down by Mbabu. Castilla with a poor bit of control, but Nottingham Forest aren't going to be able to profit from that because the referee has blown the half-time whistle. He is not very popular inside this stadium, that is for sure. That whistle has been overused in the first 45 minutes. Well, Vitor Pereira came in with one major priority, and that was to stay in the Premier League, but progressing in the Europa League was a very close secondary objective. But progress so far has been limited, but neither has there been any damage done. Elliot Anderson has forced a save from a lapsant, probably the best that we've seen so far in the game. Morgan Gibbs-White had a chance on the stroke of half-time, but it remains Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0.
Sam, thank you very much. Yes, you can hear the chorus of boos from the home fans in the main stand here, just showing their, displeasure to the refereeing performance, and Morgan Gibbs-White was having a few words with him as well as they were coming off the pitch. So goalless it is here at the City Ground. It's also half-time in the Conference League match between Crystal Palace and Larnaca. That's in the Conference League of the round of 16 as well, first leg. Let's check in with how that first half ended. Here's Ian Abrahams.
Palace 0, Larnaca 0. All Palace, who should be ahead and would be ahead if it wasn't for the Larnaca goalkeeper, who's made 2 unbelievable saves at the beginning and the end of the half. The first to deny Gasson, ball in from the right hand side from Johnson. Gasson split second shot 6 yards out, which the goalkeeper flung out an arm to save, and then right at the end of the half, ball in again, I think it was a Wharton this time, right hand side of the penalty area to Mitchell, who made a run down the left hand side of the box, 6 yards out, looked destined to score. Somehow the goalkeeper again pulled off a worldie of a save. Other chances too for Palace, especially for Strand Larsen and Gasson again, who touched one wide when he was trying to get on the end of a cross, but he couldn't quite manage it. It's wet, it's blowy, there's a storm around Palace, it's all Palace, but they just can't beat this goalkeeper. Second half live on Talksport 2, Crystal Palace 0, Larnaca 0.
Ian, thank you very much. Well, the rain certainly has not relented here in Nottingham as it continues to fall and it continues to swirl with the wind as well. Let's look over that first half then with Charlie Adam, part of our commentary team. And Charlie, there's a lot to like about this performance so far from Nottingham Forest. It's been energetic. They've certainly caused a lot of problems for FC Midtjylland. The only downside will be that they've had 10 shots in the game and they haven't put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, no, I think the big moments, the Beck's brilliant block at the end there from Gibbs-White. But I think if you've anybody going to score it, it's probably going to be Nottingham Forest in terms of their general play. I get Midtjylland had a wonderful ball and a great delivery into that area, just in front of the, 4 or 5 yards out where nobody was attacking it. But the goalkeeper Olafson's had some brilliant saves, couple of big saves in terms of off Hutchison and off Elliot Anderson with lovely strikes. So I think Nottingham Forest will be happy with what they're given to the game and the opportunities they've been able to produce. It's just that final little bit of quality in the end in terms of, Murillo stepped in and then passed it behind Hutchinson when actually if he played in front it would have been a big chance. So no, if I'm the coach of Nottingham Forest, I'd be saying more of the same, but can we add a little bit more in terms of quality in that final moment? But
like you say, the FC Midtjylland goalkeeper has been exceptional really in this first half to keep out Nottingham Forest. Interesting to see Nico Williams is warming up right now. We don't yet know what that means. Is there an issue with any of those players? Murillo playing out at left back potentially? I don't know if that's what they're thinking of. Are they thinking already ahead to the weekend as well?
Yeah, again as well, they might be thinking of Enya as well too.
Yes, yeah.
I think playing that right wing back and maybe the amount of minutes he's played over the last period and been out, at the early part of the season, now come back in, and like you say, we'll might be thinking about the game at the weekend and looking to say that it might, after 60 minutes, looking to make that sub to try and protect him a little bit. Obviously Morato's on that booking, so I don't really see anybody else going and playing in that back line. I don't see Ena going and playing right centre back, so no, I don't think that anything else apart from that switch. Hudson-Odoi obviously is playing here as a winger but playing left back, so at times he's going to switch off. That's natural of a winger, they always do. But yeah, it definitely looks like Nico Williams is going to come on here at half time.
Yeah, we'll wait to see, of course, who he comes on to replace. And let's not forget that earlier on, Cunha had to go off with an injury very early on in this game, and Milenkovic had to come on for him as well. As for FC Midtjylland, we've seen a bit of physicality from them. That was to be expected. They haven't really caused Nottingham Forest too many problems. I know they've delivered some wonderful balls into the box, but really no one's been there to finish it off. They're yet to have a shot on target.
Yeah, only really Billing when he went by the touchline and he dinked a pass up to Brumada, who had was going wide, and Murillo cleared it off near the line. But apart from that, nothing in general play. I think apart from the free kick that he had from Simsar, a lovely whipped ball, dipped just about 4 or 5 yards out front in the middle of the goals, and nobody was really attacking it, couldn't get through that back line of Nottingham Forest. So apart from that, disappointed. They've had a few moments where they've been aggressive, gave away fouls, but they've come there to sort of spoil the game a little bit. But overall, I think I think Nottingham Forest will be happy. The Midtjylland coach will be looking to try and at least get more efforts on goal and more quality within his team.
It's so fascinating to watch the Midtjylland coach. He is up and down the whole time. He's like living every set piece out there as well.
Yeah, again, but because you pour your heart and your soul into it. And these are the moments as a coach you want to be competitive, and coming here and playing against such a big club, this could put you on the map. If you get a big result here tonight, it puts you on the map in terms of other places abroad. He's done doing a good job at Midtjylland at the moment, but to come here and beat a Nottingham Forest in Europe, they've got great history in the European competition. So, no, you're frantic because you want your team to do well, and when they don't do things that you pre-plan, you look at in the video analysis and you find that these are opportunities that we might get within the game, and they don't execute it, then of course you get a little bit frustrated.
Okay, Fiery Fridays are back again, and our first thing tomorrow, on the Talksport Daily podcast. You can tune in to Adrian Durham, Alex Crook and Angelina Kelly as they, every Friday, bring you one blazing hot take each. If you want to hear more, then the Talksport Daily is available on all podcast platforms now. You're tuning into the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. We'll look back on Aston Villa's victory in France in the earlier kickoff in the Europa League, as an Ollie Watkins goal sealed the victory for them to take into the second leg, which will be live on Talksport next week.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org.
At Amazon, over 50% of deliveries now come with less packaging, or with no added packaging at all. It's a difference you'll notice on your doorstep, where you chat with friends, where your neighbour's daughter practices guitar, and where we deliver your new noise-cancelling headphones in the manufacturer's packaging. Much better. Reduced packaging from Amazon. We're delivering change where it matters, on your doorstep, based on 2024 UK and EU Amazon packaging data.
I need to be healthy every day to survive it and go through the next chemo round and the next chemo round. Work was part of that, to keep my mind busy for 8-9 hours, and then I had to go back and face the reality. I had a goal, and the goal is to survive.
Research shows that what's important for patients' best outcomes is not only the treatment we give, but the ability for them to continue their lives, which often means continuing to work and have purpose for what they're doing.
Learn more and sign the pledge at workingwithcancerpledge.com.
You okay, Dave?
Not really, Stace. I really need to quit smoking. Stace, why is the lightning shooting out your phone?
Introducing the free NHS Personal Quit Plan. From a quit date planner to advice on managing cravings, the power to quit is in your hands.
Just visit this website, Dave, and you'll get a simple plan to quit smoking. Worked for me.
That's terrific, babes.
Search Smoke Free to get your free plan today.
Evening. How's your night shift going? Just a quick check-in from Acorn Insurance, the taxi specialists. We've been by your side for over 40 years, helping new drivers earn a no-claims bonus from day one and accepting up to 9 years no claims from veteran cabbies. That's why we're the largest taxi insurance specialist in the UK. Find out more at acorninsure.co.uk/taxi. Bye for now. Acorn Insurance and Financial Services Limited is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
This Cheltenham, get £40 in free bets when you stake £10 online with Betfred. Back a horse for their form, their trainer, their rider. Or because you got a tip from your mate whose barber knows the jockey. However you pick 'em at Cheltenham, get £40 in free bets when you stake £10. Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only, selected odds. For £10 free bets, T's and C's, exclusions apply. Offer ends 13th of March 2026. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Get £500 off your next car at the Arnold Clark Rewards event. There's thousands of cars, including Kia, Vauxhall, MG, Peugeot and Volvo. Whether you're upgrading or switching to electric, save £500 when buying at the Arnold Clark Rewards event. But hurry, savings this good don't last. Available from the 9th to the 16th of March. Visit your nearest branch or shop at arnoldclark.com.
Welcome back to the Coral Fan Derby. They're all here. First up, the badge-in blokes. Arms down, badges rested. Well deserved. Football fashionistas next, putting that vintage away shirt back in the wardrobe. Last out, the armchair experts, remote in hand, ready to sit this one out. They've all called a timeout with Coral's play break tool. Oh, what a decision! From play breaks to deposit limits and more. We're here for safer gambling. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus gambleaware.org.
Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it. King of football commentary. Kick-off live on Talksport.
You're listening to Kickoff on Talksport, where tonight we are at the City Ground, and it's goalless in this Europa League last 16 first leg tie between Nottingham Forest and FC Midtjylland. Certainly Nottingham Forest have had the better of the chances in this game. Second half commentary to come shortly, but let's just round up some of the scores then in the Europa League. And in the early kickoffs, Aston Villa take a 1-0 lead into the second leg, which will be live on Talksport next Thursday as they beat Lille 1-0 in France, courtesy of Ollie Watkins' second half goal. Bologna 1, Roma 1. That is a full-time score, and the winner of that one will actually take on the winner of Villa against Lille. Panathinaikos were 1-0 winners over Real Betis, and Stuttgart took on FC Porto in Germany, and the Portuguese side head to the second leg with a 2-1 win. And again, the winner of that one will take on the winner of this tie here between Forest and FC Midtjylland. At half-time, Celta Vigo are 1-0 up against Lyon. Genk are also 1-0 up at home to Freiburg. And that's the same scoreline for Ferencvaros as they lead against Sporting Braga at home. Now, though, let's bring you the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Bet on this season's Champions League action live tonight. Visit ladbrokes.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Just to quickly run you through it then. Forest heavy odds on favourites now. They are 20-17 on to win this one. You can get a best price of 5-1 for Midtjylland to come away with the victory, and the draw is a best price 17-10. That was the latest with Ladbrokes. It's 18 and over. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Bet on this season's Champions League action live tonight. Visit ladbrokes.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Now, earlier, Aston Villa, as I mentioned, were in action in the Europa League round of 16 first leg as they travelled to the French side Lille. The game was live for you over on Talksport 2, and here's how it sounded.
Thiago Santos, and the ball scooped over the top for the Portuguese to run onto. Good ball to the near post and headed right across the face of goal by Giroud.
Yeah.
Well, that might just be the best chance we've had.
Best bit of play, certainly, from the home team.
All the way along the 6-yard box, not fully clear yet. Rogers with a shot blocked, and then Anana lets fly, and that isn't too far wide.
That wraps the crossbar.
0-0, Aston Villa 0. This game brought you in partnership with TNT as Ollie Watkins heads Aston Villa into the lead. He needed that. Aston Villa needed that.
Dream stuff for Ollie Watkins, because he's been desperate for a goal.
And there goes the full-time whistle. Well, they may be struggling for wins in the Premier League, but when it comes to this Europa League competition, Unai Emery continues to be the past master. They have beaten Lille away from home by 1-0.
So that's how that sounded on Talksport 2, with Villa taking a narrow lead into the second leg next week. Remember, after tonight's games, you can have your say on everything that's happened tonight on the Sports Bar. That'll be with Jason Cundy and Carlton Cole. That's from 10:15 on Talksport. Get your calls in now, 03717 2233 44. All week Talksport are live for you at the Cheltenham Festival, so they'll have plenty of build-up to the Gold Cup on the final day of the festival, and all 7 races are live for you on Talksport 2. Plus, they'll bring you a preview show immediately following Talksport Breakfast from 10. You won't want to miss that. That's the best Cheltenham coverage on Talksport. Forest have made their way out now, and we are waiting FC Midtjylland to do the same in what is a goalless encounter so far. As I say it, they are starting to make their way out now. The rain looks to have eased a little bit, but it has been unsettling conditions. Not nice if you sat down the front, I would have thought. But I think there might be some changes afoot. We will bring them to you just as soon as we can see what they are. But certainly some players, both teams have been warming up during this half-time break. So I'll hand you back over to your commentary team. It is Charlie Adam, who is alongside Sam Matterface.
Indeed, thank you very much, Natalie. Yes, 2 changes, 1 for either side at half-time. Valdemar Andreasen, who scored the 88th minute winner in the game between the two in the first match back in the early part of the season, comes off the bench, and on comes Nico Williams, who replaces Morato in the second half for Nottingham Forest. And I think, Charlie, that will mean a more conventional 4th at the back for Nottingham Forest in the second half.
Yeah, I think Nico Williams will go and play left back, and then they'll go with Inya, Milinkovic, Murillo and Williams, and 4-3-3 in top end of the pitch with Hudson-Odoi, Hutchinson here and Jesus through the middle.
Yeah, Castillo's the one who's gone off for Midtjylland, and be interesting to see how they approach the second half. The winners of this time will face the winners of Stuttgart and Porto in the quarter-finals. Nottingham Forest shooting towards the Bridgeford stand in the second half, away to our right-hand side, and Midtjylland in white shirts with black shorts attacking the goal away to our left. And Nottingham Forest immediately getting on the front foot. Giao trying to chase Gibbs White, who releases Hutchinson. Didn't take it in his stride, but keeps hold of the ball and gets to the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Gets to the byline, pulls the ball back. Ola Aina is arriving! Oh, he's hit it against his own man, I think. Did it hit Gibbs White?
Yeah, it's hit Gibbs White on the back, just as coming to Aina, but lovely play from Gibbs White, driving with the ball and sliding Hutchinson. He does brilliant to cut it back, and the fullback's there on that 12 yards out, and he actually hits it into the back of Gibbs White. But good play from Forest. Good start to the second half.
Good start, and Anderson is on the front foot here, hooked in by Hutchinson into the penalty. Oh, a heavy touch by Anderson. We don't see those very often. It comes off his knee and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right.
Yeah, he was just waiting for it to come down. Maybe could have went first time across the goal to Gibbs White, but again, good play from that Hutchinson run from one side to the other, and lovely cut back, and unfortunately Gibbs White gets in the way.
Well, it remains 0-0. You're listening to Talksport. 17th place Nottingham Forest in action in the Europa League tonight, having had a difficult season, but they're on the front foot at the start of the second half. And I think, if they want to get to Istanbul in the final, they're probably going to have to take something to Denmark next week. They'll want to go in search of a goal in this second half. Here is Dominguez! Edge of the area, set it back from Hudson-Odoi's pass, and he came onto it in a flash, and he really cracked that one, and he missed the target by about 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, again, cut back to the edge, and he catches it well, just coming off the outside of his right foot, and he just slices it wide. It's a lovely thing, just going away from the goal. It's a good effort from Dominguez. Positive start from Nottingham Forest second half.
Really positive start for Nottingham Forest, and he hasn't scored for a long time, has Ola Aina, but he came mightily close there. New Year's Eve 2024 going into 2025, he scored against Brentford in a 2-0 victory away at the G-Tech Community Stadium. And the only reason he hasn't scored tonight is because Morgan Gibbs White got in his way.
Yeah, he'll thank him. Not be thanking him that later after the game. But I think if you look at what he is, I think he's a big character within this dressing room, isn't he? He's done since he's come to the club, he's been brilliant, magnificent. Early part of the season injuries, but now had a good run in the team, and that was his big moment there. But unfortunately, his mates got in the way of him.
Another graduate of the Chelsea Academy, Olorena, came through the ranks there. Went off to Torino, did really well actually in Italian football, and they snapped him up for 10 million quid here at Nottingham Forest.
Had a brilliant season last year for them, and again found that tough with injuries, but it seems to be back in the rhythm now with the games he's played recently. And
he got a really bad hamstring injury, didn't he? It kept him out for almost 6 months.
Yeah, that's obviously needed surgery, and that sounds like it's come off the sort of attachment at the top end and maybe off the bone, so it takes a while for them to repair, and now he's back playing, and he's played now regularly for the last sort of couple of months now.
The way you so casually described that, it was quite frightening really, because it made me wince a little bit when you said that. The idea of it coming off the bone. Here is Jesus chesting the ball down and sending it wide out towards the left hand side for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Moves the ball back to the edge of the area, and Nico Williams tries to come infield onto his right foot. He rolls it back to Dominguez. It goes back to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's over on the far side. His right footed shot is low towards the near corner. It ripples the side netting, and they thought it got a touch of a Midtjylland player. It didn't. It goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. Have you ever had that injury?
That hamstring injury? Yeah, I've had a hamstring injury, but no, I was never quick enough for that to come off the bone. I pulled my hamstring later in my career, and not a great feeling, but I know a few players that have done it, and eventually having to get surgery and stuff like that, and you're at a bit of a risk at the end of it, maybe re-injuring it, and the surgeon normally just tightens it up a little bit, so it's not a good injury. It's about normally anything between 12-16 weeks.
Here is Hutchinson on the edge of the Midtjylland penalty area. They've given the ball away again, Midtjylland, and Nottingham Forest trying to profit from that. Gibbs White just about keeps it in over on the far side into Hutchinson. He tries to spin it round the corner. Gibbs White can't get on the end of it. It's tidied up by the defender Jiao, and he only half clears, and then Mbabu gives it straight back to Nico Williams, who's on the run here. Lovely little twirl away from the defender. He's still going down that left hand side, ball into the box, cannons off the back of the defender, and there is a shout for handball. The referee's not going to give it, but Aina has kept it alive on this near side. It's good hunting from Nottingham Forest at the start of the second half. 0-0 the score, 5 minutes into it. The ball back with Dominguez, slides it forward to Hutchinson, a flick back to Anderson, into Dominguez again, bit of room to get the ball into the centre. Gibbs White turns it round the corner. Jesus was on his heels. Goalkeeper comes and gobbles it up, and it remains 0-0. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And we have got biblical rain now joining us at the City Ground, because it is absolutely teeming down here.
Yeah, it was good play from Forest there, but unfortunately Gibbs White tried to flick it on for Jesus. Maybe actually could have controlled the ball and turned, but got rid of it too early. But that rain's not going to help this pitch.
Dear oh dear, that is treacherous now out there, isn't it? Horrible. Here is Andreasen, who scored in that game previously between the two, and he's hit that from distance, and it's bounced in front of Matt Sells, and he's 30 yards out when he's whacked that, Charlie. He came so close to making it 1-0 to the visitors.
Yeah, again, it's just Philip Billing using his quick play from him with a throw in, and Anderson having a shot at goal, but a lovely save for Sells.
Well, I think Mike Chulberg's going to make a couple of changes in the next few minutes. Gu Sung Cho is being prepared down in front of us as the corner is about to come in, and the swirling rain now away to our left in front of the Trent end is visible as it goes in towards that 6-yard box, and it bounces around inside the box. It's head back towards Andreasen, who hits the crossbar with a rasping effort. It comes back out, and it's gobbled up by Gibbs White. He races away over the halfway line as Forest come on the counter. It's been picked up by Hutchinson now. Hutchinson takes over and gets into the box. Down the right side, cross into the far post. Jesus misses it. Dominguez picks it up on the edge. Back wide to Anderson, right side for Nottingham Forest. They've survived a scare at one end and now trying to cause trouble at the other. Aina bundling forward, trying to keep it alive. Dispossessed by Andreasen, and then the ball all the way back by Milenkovic to his goalkeeper. I mean, I didn't think the rain could get any worse, but it's got 10 times worse in the last 30 seconds, Charlie.
Yeah, it's not great, but going back, that was a lovely strike from Andresen again, wasn't it? Off that crossbar, the goalkeeper had no chance, and that's a couple of good strikes he's had so far.
He's only been on for a couple of minutes, Andreasen, and that bent and whipped, and it was actually, I think he'd beaten Sells. If it was an inch lower, that would have been in, and it would have been 1-0 to the visitors. Cho about to come on.
I am absolutely delighted I'm sat up here in the back of this stand and not down there on that touchline.
Crikey.
Terrible, that rain, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be walking to the hotel at 10 o'clock tonight in order to quickly get back to do the Premier League All Access podcast with Scott Minto and Alex Crook. Looking forward to that.
You never stop, do you? 10
well, we
o'clock
didn't do
at
it today. We didn't do it today. We were supposed to do it today.
Was that just he saving his throat?
We had to look after
it. A tough week for the Crookmeister, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, he couldn't do it because he was too busy with Cheltenham. And as you heard earlier, he's suffering a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. I hope he's going to be all right for the show tomorrow. Sells forward up towards Gibbs right. A ball headed away by Ehrlich, but only as far as Hutchinson. Down the right-hand side, he gallops towards the edge of the area. There's a little slip by Sorensen, almost took the ball away from Hutchinson. It goes back in the path of Aina.
Usually they've had some weekends.
Oh, do you know what? We've got a massive night out tomorrow night.
Scott Minto's been... Is he in Madrid?
He's been in Madrid, yeah, Scotty, yeah. He's done the 2 games in Madrid. Crookie's done the Villa game tonight. I've been in Paris and Galatasaray. It's been a hell of a week, yeah. And we'll get all the fallout from that and look ahead to what is a brilliant Premier League weekend on the Premier League All Access podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcasts. Here's Mbabu taking the ball off of Nico Williams, charging forward over the halfway line, and then a poor pass in field goes straight to Dominguez, and Nottingham Forest have got it back again. Here is Callum Hudson-Odoi. We can barely see him over on the far side because the rain is so dense now. It's almost like a mist coming off of the river. It's not. It's teeming rain that is driving into the ground here. And it's actually going to affect the playing surface, I think, the longer it goes on. Because it's absolutely relentless, Charlie.
Yeah, it's coming down heavy now. And, see how these... Deso pitches now hold this water, how it can deal with it, but
are they better at it or worse?
No, I think these Deso pitches make a huge difference. They're expensive and you put a lot into it, so it should be able to take a lot of rain, but it's just in terms of safety of the players, but also again having a decent passing quality within this game.
What about these poor fellas that are just about to come on, Charlie? Cho and Uhre, who are about to enter the fray here. They've been standing on the sidelines for about 5 minutes. The ball hasn't gone out of play. They're soaking wet through. They're standing there in their kit, just getting absolutely drenched.
Yeah, again, so when they come on, simplest thing to do is just go and run around and get yourself warm again. But they're going to be, and again for these players, the kit will get heavier as well as this game goes on with the amount of rain that's coming down.
It is absolutely relentless. Here is Victor Jensen trying to send the ball into the path of the rather lively Arol Shimshir. Doesn't reach him, goes out of play, and now we can have those substitutions, and we're going to see Mikhail Uhre and the aforementioned Gusung Cho, the Korean Cho, who is a forward option, and he is going to replace Shimshir. And it looks like Bramado's coming off and Uhre is coming on. Mikhail Uhre, who they took from Philadelphia Union back in January. He was the 2025 MLS Supporters' Shield winner with Philadelphia Union. Yet to score since his move, the Danish forward. So Uhre, all change up top. Uhre on, Andreasen just behind him, and Cho also joining him in that attack. Throw in on this near side. We'll get to Ian Abrahams very shortly as Cho nudges the ball back into Jensen. Jensen down the left-hand side onto Billing. Billing trying to travel into a dangerous area, but Anderson is there to mop up. It's cleared away by the right full back and up towards halfway. Jesus allows it to go back to Hutchinson. He allows it to run out of play. So let's go down to Selhurst Park. Talksport's Ian Abrahams is there.
An hour gone, Palace 0, Larnaca 0. The rain sweeping across south-east London, and Palace still sweeping forward, looking for a goal. Thought they should have had a penalty. VAR said no, and Sarr flung himself at a Johnson cross, couldn't quite get on the end of it. Commentary on Talksport 2 of Palace 0, Larnaca 0.
Here comes Callum Hudson-Odoi as Mbabu pulls his hamstring. Hudson-Odoi guides it back to Morgan Gibbs-White. It's on to Hutchinson, tries to pull the trigger. They just wanted too many touches in front of goal, and it's cleared away. Now they're going to have to make a substitution here, Midtjylland, but Nottingham Forest failed to take advantage of the fact that Mbabu pulled up lame over on the far side. They escaped with Hudson-Odoi. He pulled it through to Gibbs-White. He didn't pull the trigger, shifted the responsibility onto Hutchinson. He took an extra touch, and by which time the chance had gone, Charlie.
Yeah, he should have just come on to it first time. Hutchinson should have hit that first time, and he tried to take that extra touch, but yeah, I feel for Mbabu. It's not nice when you're chasing somebody like Hudson-Odoi with pace and power, and it looks like he's pulling his hamstring in that run, but it was a lovely way to pass from Gibbs-White. Hudson-Odoi need to come on his left-hand side and just hit it first time. You could see now with his reaction that he's disappointed.
Hamboem Lee is coming on to replace him. It's a like-for-like replacement. The former FC Seoul right back, who's going to... Well, he's a centre-back really, but he'll go and play right back, I think, with Mbabu coming off. Either that or Zhao will go out there and he'll just slot in field. But it's... a disappointing moment for the former Newcastle United player who's had to come off behind the goal away to our right-hand side. He had to walk in front of the FC Midtjylland supporters, by the way, some of whom have decided that clothes are no longer necessary, and a lot of them are topless now, the ultras over on the far side. I mean, it's not really the weather for it, and they are getting absolutely soaked, by the way. And if you look at the Nottingham Forest supporters, they're all in big puffer jackets with their hoods pulled up over their heads, whereas the FC Midtjylland fans are standing there dancing, doing star jumps without their tops on.
Well, I do think that the winters are a little bit colder in Denmark, and I think this is probably a summer night for them.
Here is Anderson into the penalty area, looking for Gibbs-White. Oh, he splashes his way towards the ball, which just evades him by a couple of droplets and goes out towards the far side and out for a throw. Excellent run by Anderson. He's ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. Just flicked away, I think, by Zhao from Gibbs-White, who was coming onto it. It may even have held up a little bit in the penalty area there because of the rain. And it goes out for a throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball from a little switch of play to Anderson. And again, a way to pass of Anderson, that quality that he has. And like you said, I do think that the sort of puddle within that part of the pitch slowed it down and maybe took it off
Dominguez through the centre looking for the run of Jesus. He didn't get on the end of it. He's just been a bit on his heels tonight, Igor Jesus. A couple of times the ball's gone into the box. It's in an area where you would expect him to be, and he hasn't quite been there, Charlie.
Yeah, he's just not got in front of that defender. He was behind him, and if he'd opened his legs up, he might have got there quicker.
Good ball back to Anderson from Hutchinson, who's turned it over after a mistake by the Midtjylland defence. It's now on the right side. Travelling forward is Ola Aina. Back wide to Hutchinson. More space out wide for Anderson, whose cross takes a deflection and then just lollops into the arms of the goalkeeper. You're listening to Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0. In the Europa League, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Good second half from Nottingham Forest so far.
Yeah, they've been really positive. So a couple of moments in the second half, and they're looking to, let's say, take a goal or an advantage over to Denmark in the second leg, and really positive. Been in that Midtjylland half for most of it, and if Jesus had actually, like you say, been on his toes and reacted, he might have managed to get a goal in the second half.
Well, it's been a long time since they were in European competition, and they're determined to make the most of it. They're two-time European Cup winners. They've got a great pedigree. They're the last team to retain the trophy from England, the only club to have won the European Cup more times than their own domestic league. This is the first European campaign in 3 decades, though. And they're looking for that quarter-final stage again as the ball goes through to Ure on the edge of the area, but it doesn't quite reach him. Goes behind and away for a goal kick. 95-96 the last time they went on a European adventure. They played Bayern Munich. They've actually reached the quarter-finals in 4 of their last 6 European campaigns.
Yeah, they've done really well. You know, it's something that they're
proud of here, isn't it? You know, it's a long time ago, but they're proud of that in European history.
Absolutely, and so they should be. It's it's a famous football club that, let's say, winning is not easy, and to be part of that, it's something that this club sort of it prides itself on, and they're the days that this Marinakis is looking to try and get back to.
I couldn't see whether he was here tonight, Marinakis. Here is Andreasen, who came close with 2 efforts in the second half before Nottingham Forest wrestled control back of the game. There are little pools of water just forming on the pitch now, and the ball just holding up there is...
Are you thinking what I'm thinking here?
Yeah, I am.
That's not what we need.
I'm thinking that Crookie and Scott Minto are not going to get a 10 o'clock podcast, unfortunately, because I think this game may end up being paused at some point while they wait for the rain to relent. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, Charlie, because it's starting to stick a little bit on the pitch, isn't it? Jesus trying to take on the defender, claims of handball, referee says no. Ehrlich dispossessed, plays it forward and goes out towards the right hand side, where it's collected now by Cho travels forward, looks up, plays it infield. Andreasen with a bit of room, across comes Anderson, the water flicking off the boots whenever anybody moves towards the ball, and now it's collected by Bravo in midfield, and he finds Andreasen.
Well, there's nothing, and there's no groundsman looking around or anywhere close to the pitch, so there must not be any sort of doubt or any communication from the officials for it. But yeah, there was a few times there when they tried to pass the ball, it slowed up.
You need someone to get out there and fork it, don't you?
Well, it'll not be me and you.
It certainly won't. We're staying up here. We're not going down there. It's absolutely horrible. It's like a scene before Noah's Ark, isn't it? Ball won by Ura, edge of the area, onto Cho, then back to Bravo, and then out towards the left. Jensen tries to crack it, blocked by Aina, and then it's taken wide onto Hutchinson, who's a little bit short with his pass forward, and Mads Beck Sorensen closes him down. It goes out of play, and it's away for a throw midway inside the Nottingham Forest half. Remember, the sports bar is open for business tonight. They may well get an early opening, I don't know, if it stays like this and the game is called off. You never know. 03717 2233 44. Carlton Cole is alongside Jason Cundy tonight. Don't ask.
Where is he?
I don't know.
What's up with him?
I don't know. I think he's got the ump.
I listened to the last this week. He's in a tough place at the moment, isn't he, Mr. O'Hara?
It's all banter. Most of it, I think. I can't tell sometimes because I can't see through that mask. The boys back on the sports bar tonight. 03717 2233 44. I don't even want to know what those clips do on social, but I imagine they do very, very well.
Oh yeah, it keeps you entertained when you're driving back from a game.
Absolutely it does. Anderson back to Aina, and then back out towards the near side, and Hutchinson. Aina again round the corner, Anderson upfield, looking for the run of Jesus, but Ehrlich will get there first, and he slides the ball back to his goalkeeper. And I don't know how much you'd want to be playing the ball across the floor on a turf like this right now. I'd be kicking it long and getting it away from my goal as quickly as possible, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, at least I think the rain's died a little bit. It's not as heavy, but there's still coming down. And again, like I say, there is starting to appear of some puddles in the middle of that pitch, so hopefully we don't have any stoppages here.
And let's just hope that that's the worst of the weather, by the way, because it has been awful in the last 10 minutes or so. Ball's been picked up by Anderson, though, drenched as he tries to travel forward. It's sticking under his feet as he's trying to move it. You know what that feeling's like when the pitch is heavy and there's water underneath. You just almost sort of have to be extra deliberate as Amari Hutchinson's cross goes into the box, and Jesus does react this time, and he manages to flick a header towards goal, but it's gobbled up by the goalkeeper in the end. We're going to get Ibrahim Sangare coming on in the not too distant future, and Lorenzo Luca as well.
Looking to freshen it up with these couple. Sangare coming to midfield.
Yeah, and Lorenzo Luca, who hasn't actually had much football, they've been sort of taking him out the firing line a little bit, I know he scored when he came off the bench in his first game, I think, but since then they've sort of been looking at him on the training ground. They wanted to get a better feel for him and get him up to pace with the way that the team needs to perform. Victor Pereira saying that this week. Here is the cross from Jensen at the other end as Midtjylland come forward. It's fallen kindly for Cho, away by Williams, who reacted first. And then it's picked up in midfield by Philip Billing. Well, that's a little bit short. Jesus was tempted, and now they have won it over on the far side with Callum Hudson-Odoi. And Igor Jesus travels forward. He needs a little bit of support there, and he turns back and away from the possibility of running down a cul-de-sac. Gives the ball infield, collected by Dominguez. He tries to push it towards the edge of the penalty area, but Gibbs White's not going to get there. And it's cleared away. And it's Talksport on a Thursday night in the Europa League. And Anderson's been given the ball back, and he's inside the area. He's shot back in on his right foot, and he's sent it straight into the arms of the goalkeeper at the near post.
Yeah.
What an opportunity. Gifted by Midtjylland mistakes again.
Yeah, it's good play from Nico Williams, pressing, being aggressive with the header, and Anderson changes, and he just didn't really connect with it well when he cut back onto his right hand side, and he just wrapped it into the goalie's hands. But good play from Nottingham Forest, aggressive front through. A couple of substitutes now come in.
Right, the two changes. Dominguez coming off, Jesus coming off, Sangare coming on, and Lorenzo Luca coming on. It's a big lad, Lorenzo Luca.
I don't think there'll be much change in the shape. I think Sangare will go and play as that holding midfielder, and Luca going in that number 9 for Forest, and hopefully he's a wee bit more sharper and quicker than what Jesus has been. But it's a good opportunity for him now to, like I say, not had much game time, but if he can come on and score a goal and take that lead back over to Denmark next week, it'll be a great opportunity for him. But yeah, same shape, 4-3-3 for Nottingham Forest.
Absolutely huge, 6'7", Lorenzo Luca. When he was growing up, because of him being Italian, they called him Pizza Crouch.
Pizza Crouch.
Here is Victor Back Jensen. He's in for a slice of the action tonight. Here is Ehrlich back towards Beck Sorensen, who from the left full-back position will clear. It's a true story. That is his nickname. I didn't make it up.
Pizza Crouch.
Yeah. Milenkovic upfield towards Amari Hutchinson, tries to tuck it round the corner. Collected by Philip Billing, and it's all the way back to the goalkeeper, who fires it forward once again. And Einar airily watched that all the way. It's now picked up by Victor Back Jensen, but Einar, brilliant tackle again from him. Prods it clear. Bravo. Andreasen out towards the right. Cho keeps it alive, pulls it back through the area, and it almost came through to Ure. Jensen was there as well. Eventually Nottingham Forest managed to smuggle it clear, and it does take it out of you a little bit because the pitch is heavy as well.
Yeah,
adds to the fatigue.
I'm just watching Anderson and Einar here. Einar looks like he's struggling here. Just needs to pull his shorts up. They're nearly his ankles, but
well, he can't because they're so heavy, because all the rain's got into them.
Yeah, but I think he wears them that short as well and pulls them down. But no, again, he looks like he's having a few deep breaths and struggling there. But maybe the pitch is starting to wear him down a little bit.
Here is Jensen on the near side, crossing to the box away by Milenkovic. Oh, he tried to head that away, and it came off of the right temple instead and went behind and away for a corner kick. And you don't want to give this lot the opportunity to have a corner.
Well, not second half, because they've not really been in Forest's half much of it, and then this is an opportunity, let's say, to go and put it into a box where they are so dangerous.
Well, Homboyne Lee has come up from the back. Zhao is in there, Ehrlich and Beck. The ball goes wide to Andreasen, who sends a cross in after a short corner, and they made a mess of that. And now Nottingham Forest are running quickly over the halfway line. Gibbs White towards Hutchinson. It's a short ball which held up on the turf, and it invited a challenge, and that challenge from Bravo was good enough to drag his team out of dodge and further up the pitch. Einar just about keeps his footing, although he was pulled back. I think the referee's been a little bit lighter with his whistle in the second half, by the way. Got a bit of a feel for the game maybe in the second half.
Yeah, I think he's trying to calm the game's been. There's been much better flow to it. Yeah. Einar looks like he's struggling now. fitness is...
Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi on the far side, though, as Aina talks to the staff on the near touchline. You're right about his shorts, by the way. They actually are falling down. Here is Anderson down the left side of the box, guides it back towards Hudson-Odoi, into Sangare, and then it's picked up by Murillo, and he nudges it forward. Now Nico Williams takes over. 72.5 minutes on the clock. This is Talksport. Back out wide it goes again for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Lovely cross into the box, and it was high, but even too high for Luca, who was inside the box there, and it's grabbed by Olafsson, and it'll be cleared away. It's still 0-0. And when do you get to the point where, if you're Victor Pereira, that you start thinking to yourself, this isn't enough, we need a bit more to take to Denmark, or is he okay with this?
Yeah, I think on his performance so far, I think he'll know that he can cause problems, but I think Midtjylland would be a different opposition away at home next week in the away leg. So it's important that they at least keep a clean sheet. But if they can get that goal, then that'll give them a good chance of winning away.
I mean, Midtjylland are pretty handy at home, and they will expect to cause even more problems than they have done tonight, and they have caused one or two problems even in this second half. That was a foul on Sangare by Mikael Ure. So let's go off to Selhurst Park and find out if there's been a breakthrough there. Talksport's Ian Abrahams.
No, quarter of an hour to go. Palace 0, Larnaca 0. Still Palace asking the questions. A corner headed by Chris Richards just over the top. Wind is our problem here. It's very windy, and the ball just won't keep still at free kicks and corners, although the rain is also sweeping across the ground. The rest of the game's live on Talksport 2, and Mateza's coming on for Palace. Palace 0, Larnaca 0.
Don't get blown away. You're listening to Talksport. Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0 in the Europa League. Live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Speeding down the left is Callum Hudson-Odoi, trying to get Nottingham Forest on the front foot here as we approach the final 15 minutes of the game. He cuts it back to Nico Williams on the left edge of the area, then gets it back again, Hudson-Odoi. He's crossing towards the near post. It's aimed towards Gibbs White. It's headed behind by Giao, and it goes out for a corner.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball from Hudson-Odoi again, cutting back on his right hand side, and when you've got somebody the height to look in there, you want to try and put more cross in the box, and he did that, and Giao did brilliant to put it away.
I think they're going to make some changes here. Tulberg, in fact, only got one more change that he can make, actually, and he's just asking for Edward Chilufya to come back from warming up away to our right hand side, and the Zambian midfielder has just come over to have a word with the coaching staff as they prepare to defend this corner kick in front of the British stand away to our right hand side. It's the stand that is a bit hickledy-pickledy. A third of it has got two tiers, and then it drops down in the corner. There's 5 Nottingham Forest, five Nottingham Forest red shirts inside the 6-yard box, and I think, is that 8 white Midtjylland ones? It's congested.
Trying to put that on top of the goalkeeper.
It's right into the middle of the goal. The goalkeeper comes out and grabs it.
Yeah, again, that's poor from Nottingham Forest in terms of attacking. There's obviously key players in there looking to do the jobs and blocking markers and blocking goalkeepers, and whoever has been told to do that hasn't done that properly, because the goalkeeper, with that amount of bodies in there, should never be able to come through that and collect it like that.
Talksport 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Midtjylland. And remember, tomorrow morning when you wake up, Shabana Hearn will have Gabby Agbonlahor and Ray Parler and a host of guests live from Cheltenham. The best coverage from Cheltenham is on Talksport throughout the course of the day. Remember the Gold Cup tomorrow. Here is Victor Back-Jensen into the penalty area with his cross, which is aimed towards Cho. It's cut away from the penalty spot by Sangare, and then Hutchinson with a lovely bit of skill to take it over the head of Mads Bech Sorensen, and then he needs to feed the ball into Anderson, and he successfully does that. He then switches the play back to the right, and now Gibbs White comes forward. Anderson wants the return. He gets it down the side of the penalty area. Low ball into the box, and it's cleared away by Ehrlich. Flicked away by Bech Sorensen. It's down by the corner flag. Gibbs White threatened to get it in first time. He didn't. Instead he cuts it back to Aina to Hutchinson. Try to roll the defender. No free kick given against Philip Billing. It's cleared away, and Milenkovic will steer that back to his goalkeeper, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, it's good play again from Gibbs White and Anderson. They look like they're on real good terms in terms of how they play the game, and if I'm the centre forward, look at I've got to realise that's a lovely pass from Anderson.
Oh, brilliant from Anderson, right round the corner for Gibbs-White, who's down by the byline. He volleys the ball into the danger zone, and it's still alive, and Luca heads it down. It comes back to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Terrible defending from Midtjylland. It goes back out wide towards the left, and Anderson's got another chance to put it in. Hutchinson round the corner. But those little connections, those final little moments are just not coming off. There's some beautiful football in the approach play, Charlie, but the last little bit just hasn't been right tonight.
Yeah, and that's the end bit that you need to really take care of. He didn't connect with it at Hutchinson. I could see what he's trying to do, trying to play around the corner, and he didn't get good contact. But again, from Anderson, lovely ball, straight inside and flipped over the top of the centre-back's head, and again just on a real good path between him and Gibbs-White.
Given away again, and Anderson has released Hutchinson, and again the flick just doesn't come off. And you know, sometimes you don't do the flicks, especially when the conditions don't lend themselves to you to be able to. And again, that one's just been a little bit loose from Omari Hutchinson, and there was disappointment in the air because it didn't reach Morgan Gibbs-White.
I actually don't think he needs to touch it. I think if he jumps over it, might the pace on it and the ball and the wetness of the pitch might have just went into the path of Gibbs-White there.
I think Vitor Pereira was a little bit frustrated with Omari Hutchinson in that particular moment. It remains 0-0. It'll be interesting to see if they can get through Nottingham Forest, who they get in the next round. Because if they were to get Porto, a team that Vitor Pereira won league titles with, it would be a fascinating matchup, that would be, after the international break. 11 minutes to go. This is Olafsson, out wide towards the right, and Jow. Flick round the corner, headed away by Andreasen. Touched back to Andreasen again. A little back heel. Billing, lovely feet. Tries to get away from Murillo. The ball runs loose. Murillo turns it over. And the referee's given a free kick for an earlier foul. On the edge of the centre circle.
Yeah, good play from Philip Billing. And, you know, does well. And Murillo actually catches him to foul him. But just going back to the Gibbs-White situation, I think there was a real frustration from Hutchinson and Anderson and Gibbs-White there about the flick, when realistically he could have just left it. But Forrest looking to make a sub now in Bakwa.
I bet you he takes Hutchinson off.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? He's just there's shown some moments tonight, Hutchinson, that he could be a real threat. And last couple of things he's done, he's not executed them probably the way he could have and should have. But yeah, I think he's had a good evening so far. He's caused problems. He'll be happy with his performance.
Yeah, I just think he's just been a little bit loose and not decisive enough in those final moments.
Yeah, and that's the final moments, Sam. It's the final bit that I always talk about. That's what separates the good players from the best players, and it's the final bit. And when you can deliver in the last
Jow into the box looking for Cho with a header. He's beaten the goalkeeper, and Midtjylland have stolen the lead. Well, they've had great opportunities, Nottingham Forest, to get in front of this game. They haven't been ruthless enough, and Cho has come off the bench and shown them how it's done. A towering header, sending it back across the face of goal and into the corner beyond the diving cells. The Midtjylland bench explodes, and Nottingham Forest are now facing going to Denmark next week with a deficit to overcome. It's Forest 0, Midtjylland 1.
Yeah, it's a brilliant goal from Midtjylland's point of view. It's a cross in the box, and Milenkovic actually is sleeping at that sort of back post. Aina doesn't get into an area, and Milenkovic is actually trying to pass him on, and Aina doesn't even know where he is. He loses him, he goes behind him, goes in front of him, and just as he goes to head, he gets across the front of him, and it's a wonderful header, and there's nothing the goalkeeper can do. It's just poor body shape, body positioning from Aina. He doesn't see what's behind him, and he comes across the front of him and heads it in the net. It's a lovely goal.
A lovely goal for Midtjylland. It's absolutely calamitous for Nottingham Forest because, look, I mean, it's another English club that are going to have to go and try and perform miracles in a second leg. They're going to have to come from behind away from home.
Yeah, it's been a poor week for English clubs so far.
Now, Ola Aina has come off, and Dylan Bakro's come on, so it wasn't Omari Hutchinson they took off. It was Ola Aina instead.
Now we've seen Hudson-Odoi just coming to right back, playing right back, and And Bakwa going over on that left-hand side.
To be a little bit careful not to be over-aggressive and loose. Luca felt he was being ragdolled there by Ehrlich. Hudson-Odoi into Sangare. Sangare takes a couple of steps forward and then it's picked up by Hutchinson. Hutchinson spoons the ball out to the far side, and now an opportunity for Nottingham Forest to try and build something. 82 on the clock. Can they rescue this situation? Anderson might be the man to do that. Into the box he goes, holds onto it really well. Backward takes over. A little body swerve, tries to get to the byline, cuts back. Anderson's got it now. Right for the shot, takes a deflection, and it goes into the side netting, and a lot of people on this side of the ground thought that had gone in, but it rippled the back of the net from the wrong side. And it goes out for a corner.
Yeah, it's brilliant again from Anderson. He's, for me, been Forest's best player second half. He's tried to drive the game for them, and he does well to cut back on that right-hand side. And it comes off the left calf of the defender and goes out. And now an opportunity outswinger for Hutchinson here to put it into the box.
How close was that for the equalising goal as it came off the defender and went into the side netting? Hutchinson with the corner from the far side. It's a left-footed outswinger towards the far post, and Murillo was arriving, but he couldn't get over the top of it, and he headed it over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side, and another delay. Someone claiming that they've got cramp. I think it's Jensen who's gone down and saying that he's got a problem, and that's just going to add to the delay to the end of the game. But what a amazing moment for Gusung Cho, his second Europa League goal of the season. And it might be the biggest one because they're in the last 16 for the first time in their history. The fans certainly enjoyed it. I'm sure he will enjoy it as well. That will go down in Midtjylland folklore.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you ask your finishers to do, Sam. You want them to come off the bench and make a difference. And so far he's done that with a brilliant header. But just go back to that Forest corner. Every time they've went for an outswinger, the goalkeepers really struggled with that. So something that maybe they've looked to try and capitalise on, and again Murillo had a half chance there with that header.
Well, they haven't been at their best tonight at the top end of the pitch, Nottingham Forest, and that's a real concern, isn't it? Just the little connections on the edge of the penalty area in the final moments just haven't quite worked out for them. They've given away a goal, a soft goal really, by their standards. You would expect Milenkovic, Murillo and Aina to have dealt with that, but as you mentioned earlier, Aina was struggling way beforehand. I just wonder whether or not Vitor Pereira should have made that change.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, he was breathing heavily a couple of times on this right-hand side here, and again maybe the pitch has took its toll out on him, but he should be doing better with that goal there. He doesn't see him coming off his blind side and doesn't deal with the cross, but yeah, they've not really connected that three at the top end of the pitch tonight. Jesus, before he got taken off, was not as proficient as he normally is.
Good step over by Gibbs White. Luca trying to turn, goes down under pressure, comes back to Sangare, and it's over the top of the crossbar. Now Luca wanted a foul. He's asking the referee, and Gibbs White is making the case for the amount of fouls we've seen given for very minimal contact. How is that not pushing the back from Ehrlich?
Yeah, no, if that was the same referee as it was the first half, it would have been definitely a foul, but he's
loosened up a bit.
He's loosened up a bit, yeah. He's got realised that he didn't need to blow for everything he's done, but
and it's also it is on the players a little bit not to con the referee and try and win cheap fouls.
It was a foul, but again, he's just the centre back's just backed into him, and he's if I'm a centre forward, I'm thinking I've bought a foul there, and he's fouled now.
And the ironic cheers from the Nottingham Forest supporters as we go into the 86th minute of the game. And it's Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 1 on Talksport. And the boys on the sports bar, Jason Cundy and Colton Cole, are revving themselves up because in 15 minutes time they'll be taking your calls. 03717 223344. That is the number to call. Gibbs White round the corner, plays the ball into Dylan Bakwa. It goes back to the left now, and it's taken forward by Nico Williams in the dead centre of the Nottingham Forest half. It goes wide out to the right where it's collected by Milenkovic, who scoops it over the top, and it's taken down beautifully by Hudson-Odoi, who's got up in the attack here down the right side of the Midtjylland penalty area. He guides it back to Amari Hutchinson. They've got to get the ball in the box or find a way of doing so. He flicks past one defender, squeezes between two others, produces a cross to the far post, and the goalkeeper left that because he knew it was always rising, and it goes over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, it's really good positive play from Hutchinson. He slows down the defender Jensen, he dives in and he goes by him again, and he just does unlucky that left foot, just couldn't get round it and ends up putting over the bar. But positive play from him.
Where will this leave Nottingham Forest? I mean, obviously they're fighting against relegation in the Premier League, and that's going to be the priority, isn't it? And they've got a big game against Fulham at the weekend, who themselves had a very disappointing result in the Cup over the week. But in this competition, 3 days before they have to take on Spurs away from home, they have to play Midtjylland and come from behind.
No, I get that, and I know that people say, "Oh, the Premier League is the priority." But if the Premier League was a priority, he wouldn't have picked the team he's picked tonight, because he'd be looking at the weekend. So for me, he's got to just think about the next game, and the next game for them will be Fulham, and then you deal with the second leg when it comes. And if you feel that, you know, your team might get picked off the back of the Fulham result, and if he feels that he's not capable of going there or going against Tottenham and get a result, you might look to try and change things up. But at the moment, no, I don't think you think about Tottenham's yet. I think you just look at what they can do better from tonight. At the top end of the pitch, they've not been really clinical enough, and Sunday's a totally different game.
Here's Hudson-Odoi racing away down the right hand side, almost just ended up running into Treacle really, and Pedro Bravo just wrestling with him, and he ends up just doing enough to edge the ball out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. And it remains there 1-0 to FC Midtjylland away from home in the Europa League last 16, and Mike Chulberg, very happy man tonight, that is for sure. Crystal Palace 0, Larnaca 0, and not quite finished there.
It's FC Midtjylland, this is a huge result for them.
Massive.
If you look at in terms of budgets, size of clubs, players' earnings, it's a phenomenal result.
Night and day, really, isn't it, in terms of the income. And I think that will be a source of frustration for one Evangelos Marinakis.
And that's 2 defeats now against them. So far, if it stays the way it is, that's they lost in the group stage as well. So it just shows that good recruitment, good coach gives you a very good chance of being successful. And this team have grown into this game, and let's say got the reward with that goal there.
And the changes have affected the game.
Yeah, and that's one thing he's done. I don't think the changes for Forest again, putting Nico Williams on as the defender has had to come off because Morata's on a yellow card. Bakwa's not really had anything to do. Strikers, at the top end of the pitch, Luke has not really had any big moments, so they've not made that impact. But the subs for Midtjylland have made an impact for their team.
Yeah, Andreasen immediately came off the bench and flashed a couple of shots at Matt Sells. Cho has got the goal which separates these two teams. But here is Nico Williams on the far side, the Nottingham Forest left. As we go into the final 15 seconds of normal time, we'll have quite a few minutes added, I think, because of a few stoppages that we've had here. And we'll see just a second how much is added as Sangare tries to shut down Giao as he brings the ball out of defence. 5 minutes added on at the end of the 90 for Nottingham Forest to try and find an equaliser in this game. They will not want to go to Denmark behind, and that's the fate that is looking like it's going to befall them unless they can come up with a moment of magic as we inch towards the final whistle. The ball is on the halfway line. Hudson-Odoi sends it infield and it's collected by Hutchinson, but he stumbles and it's nudged back to Milenkovic, and they look to build through the other side. Taken on by Dilan Bakwa. Bakwa trying to go down the left side, but he's being held off well by Lee. He comes infield instead and then plays it against the referee. He's not going to be very popular around here. I don't think he's going to get a leftover burger in the players' bar later.
There's a lot of frustration. I'm just watching the two benches. A lot of frustration from both sides. Coaches of the both teams. That I think Tulberg was fuming with one of the defenders there for trying to overplay when the time is near the end.
Williams into the box, a deep ball towards the far post. It's headed away by Ure, and he has to put it out, does he, for a corner? I think it goes out for a goal kick because it came off of Hudson-Odoi. It should have really got out the way of that, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right. There is a little bit of fatigue, I feel, setting in as well for Nottingham Forest as we approach the end, and there's a bit of frustration amongst the crowd who have come here in the rain, the teeming rain, absolutely sopping wet, most of them, especially those down the front of each of the stands. and they haven't had much bang for their buck.
No, it's the game sort of petered out for Nottingham Forest, didn't it? Maybe they've worked too hard in that 8 days they've had off.
You know, I just sense a little bit of sarcasm there, Charlie. I don't know why. Just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, just... It annoyed
you, didn't it?
Yeah, it's annoyed me that. At the end of the day, it's your job. Yeah, that's what you're paid to do. Work hard. Roy Keane, innit? See your job.
Here is Murillo, up to the left. Travelling forward at pace. He pushes the ball into the path of Dylan Bakwa. Bakwa now, maybe with the last chance to create something in stoppage time. He dances left and right and then bounds into the box, but he tried to do too much, really. Should have handed that off. It's full-time in the game at Crystal Palace. We'll get a full-time report from Moose in just a moment, but it is 0-0 there, and it has finished that way. Here comes Williams over on the far side, trying to get the ball into the box towards Luca, who stretches, but he's going backwards as he heads the ball goalwards. And that took the pace off the ball, and it lollops into the arms of Olafsson, and he will clear. One more change coming from the away team, who are about to make their final substitution. Adam Gabriel about to come on for the Danes. And Mark Kjellberg just having a word in his ear, then he went to sit back down again to get something, then he's coming back out again. They'll use it just to waste precious seconds. Sangare's given the ball away inside his own half. It's flicked forward by Jensen, and then that was a high foot from Sangare. The referee said no play on. Amazingly, earlier on in the first half, you couldn't tickle anybody. Now, a high foot that nearly took his head off, and the referee says play on. It was a head injury anyway. He still stayed down, Ukray. Ball played wide towards the left. Williams takes it on. He charges over the halfway line. He finds Dylan Bakwa. Bakwa approaches the corner of the penalty area, goes on the outside, produces a deep cross into the box. It bounces inside the area, but there's no red shirt to get on the end of it. And then there's a free kick given, and Mike Kjellberg, in the ear of the fourth official, going absolutely crazy about that head injury and the game not being stopped. The feeling was that he was being conned, the referee, by the head injury, so he gives a yellow card to Mike Kjellberg.
Yeah, it's a foul, isn't it? It's Sangare just catches.
You can't even attempt to kick the ball that high without giving away a foul. Usually.
No, it's a foul, and it's a frustration from the coach, Kjellberg here. But the Forest Bakwa goes on the outside and the delivery, and there's nobody really attacking the box. It just drops in the middle of sort of 14-15 yards out, and there's nobody there to take it. I don't know if the wind maybe took it away from Luca there, but yeah, poor from Nottingham Forest.
Ball forward by Billing. Nottingham Forest need to get it forward quickly. In 1980, Nottingham Forest lost the first leg at home to Dynamo Berlin in the European Cup quarter-final. They went away to the German capital and won 3-1 in the second leg. And that's the only time that they've managed to reverse fortunes like this before they've got to try and do it again in a week's time. Milenkovic dawdling, didn't get the ball forward quick enough. The crowd let him know it. Murillo tries to force it into the box. It's away by Ehrlich, picked up by the defender and cleared away, and there is the full-time whistle, and the roar from the Midtjylland bench as they all embrace one another tells you its own story. There is a real party going on in the away end because they believe that is a significant result. It has happened again. FC Midtjylland of Denmark have beaten Nottingham Forest at the City Ground for the second time this season. The Danes are into the round of 16 for the first time in their history this season, and they are determined to make the most of it. Cho's goal off the bench has done the damage, and Forest now need to do something they've only done once before: overturn a first leg home deficit in a knockout game in Europe. It's a tough night for Vitor Pereira. He's never progressed beyond the round of 16 in a European competition, and that record is in serious danger of continuing. It's finished here at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, FC Midtjylland 1.